Detroit Lions looking for just their second win of the season as we approach the second half against the Houston Oilers. He in this role until Mel Gray gets back, and it's possible Mel Gray might be returning from his injury next week. But Barry Sanders, they've been kicking it past him as often as they can because he is ever dangerous. 184 yards rushing last week against Green Bay. And obviously a threat every time he has the ball. The 4-4 Oilers, their fans, coaches, and the players themselves disappointed that they're 500 halfway through the year. A short kickoff taken by Stanley at the 10-yard line. And he is dropped just over the 15. Rodney Peete brings on the Detroit Lions. Played well last week, but gave up the crucial interception that led to the winning field goal. Offensively for the Lions, they'll have Ken Dallafor in for the injured Mike Utley for the third game in a row. Harvey Salem playing hurt with a sore right shoulder. He'll go as long as he can. Barry Sanders, a lone running back. Clark, Johnson, McDonald, and Stanley, and their 4 silver stretch receiver set. First down, Lions from the 17, opening play of the game. Peete just got it off. He is going deep. Diving grab downfield by Troy Johnson. Making Robert Clark number 82. 47-yard pass play.
The left end right here. He's going to go downfield, and it's a great job by the Houston Oilers defense. Even though it's the long, great completion, they get good pressure on Rodney Peete. Peete just gets it off before the pressure gets to him. Now watch him lay out on this pass. Whoa! Great catch by Clark. This is what the Lion receivers haven't been doing early. They've been dropping the passes early.
The second-year man from North Carolina Central, a Plan B free agent from the New Orleans Saints, and a big grab there. First down at 36. Sanders inside the 25 of Houston. Another Detroit first down. So the Lions with a dramatic start here. And the Houston defensive unit certainly backed up already. Childress, Smith, and Bird starting at right defensive end. Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Meads. Lyles will play every down. Brown and Allen on the corner. It was Allen who got burned by Clark. Eaton and Dishman will come in their nickel and dime package. On the 25-yard line, a first down. Sanders close to another first down at the Houston 15. Forced out by Dishman.
Every defensive coach that's faced the Lions says the big problem is defending Barry Sanders. You have to have containment, even though you're worried about the pass and the run and shoot. And he just gets around the corner here, and there's no one out there to stop him. He's got no one in his way until he gets all the way out there to the far outside, and Dishman just drives him out of bounds.
That's Eugene Seal, number 53, an extra linebacker in that last defense. Here's Sanders' performance a week ago, and he's off to a dandy start here in Houston. Down to the 12-yard line, and some pushing and shoving here involving Eric Andelsek, one of the real fired-up offensive linemen. There's a guy that I think gets ready to play about a week before.
Well, it doesn't hurt that he's got Chris Spielman as his roommate. I mean, he and Spielman are best buddies. Their wives are best buddies, and they have the same mentality. This is an offensive lineman, Andelsek, number 65, who should be a linebacker, but God made him a little bit too big.
Sanders got 2 to the 13-yard line. It'll leave 2nd and 8. Rodney Peete, deep and too high, incomplete. Intended for Stanley. And the ball just sailed a little on Rodney Peete. Third down. Jerry Glanville, Oilers coach, probably wondering what hit him here. Wearing that familiar black that he does on the sidelines. And since his now infamous snake bite, he's 1-1. So we'll be tracking the success of Jerry Glanville. since his run-in with a water moccasin 3 weeks ago.
You know, one of the things that really concerns him, Tim, is June Jones, the new quarterback coach for Mouse Davis' run-and-shoot offense with Detroit. He's concerned he's going to bring it in here and use his own tricks against him.
Third down. Hopkins Sanders forced out at the 1-yard line, but he has a first down. Tracy Eaton, number 21, steered him out of bounds, and Sanders just no opportunity. See him shaking his head. He wanted to dive it in.
Okay, Barry Sanders right here, number 20. You're going to see the big concern with Barry. You can't let him get outside, and this is exactly what the Houston Oilers are going to let him do. A little quick pitch option. They go right out there. No one's out there to stop him. And we have to get a little bit of late support from Tracy Eaton, number 21, or it's 6 points for Detroit.
The big guys are in now. Matic, Malinchik, and Eric Sanders to help with blocking, and Tony Page, the fullback.
Let's see over the top here, Tim.
He had no chance. Good defensive reaction by the Oilers. Blowing in there. Eric Bears, linebacker number 51. Sanders never got lunch.
Offensive linemen are supposed to get low and drive out. Defensive linemen are taught get penetration. Look at the penetration by the Oiler defense. Dishman comes around the corner. Sanders wanted to leap over the top, and the Oiler defense never gave him a chance.
Dishman and Grimsley were actually the first two there, and then Fairs pulled him from behind. Sanders up to 35 yards rushing on 5 carries. And we've got an injury on the field, evidently, bringing us a timeout. It's Doug Smith, the nose man, number 99, 50-year man out of Auburn, coming off the field slowly for the Oilers.
He's been a real key for this Houston Oilers defense this year. He's had a fine season. The defense has played well.
Second and goal, Lions, just outside the 1. Cutting it in and stopped. Lyles, the linebacker, number 93. Third and goal.
Jerry Glanville says Robert Lyles out of TCU is the heart and soul of our defense. You see, Anno 665 comes out. Lyles, 93, plays off the block fantastically. Doesn't let Barry get in there. And Barry's a very strong running back, Barry Sanders, number 20. Great play by Robert Lyles.
From the 1-yard line, third down.
Maybe over the top this time, Tim.
Sanders diving. Touchdown. Barry Sanders. So on his second space shot, Barry Sanders got enough vertical height to get into the end zone, and the Lions score on their opening drive here in the House of Pain.
The key to this right here is the Lions get better blocking than the last time. They stop the penetration, and watch the spring and explosion. Look how high Sanders gets. It's hard for a linebacker to stop that unless he meets them at equal height in midair. Otherwise, forget it. You won't stop a halfback with that kind of momentum.
Eddie Murray for the point after. Jim Arnold will hold. And he's got it. So the spunky Detroit Lions, starting the second half of the season, have taken a 7-0 lead in Houston. Barry Sanders has given the Lions a 7-0 lead after a big play from Peete to Clark, Robert Clark, on the first play of the game. Well, there is June Jones now on the staff of the Detroit Lions, formerly coached the quarterbacks and receivers here in Houston with Mouse Davis, the Detroit offensive coordinator. They were together with the USFL Houston Gamblers back in '84. And as a former Oiler assistant coach, of course, he and Glanville good friends, and they know each other's game well.
Very, very well. And, you know, the big thing, June Jones says, look for big plays, not only from Jerry Glanville's Oilers, but, hey, look for big plays from us. Our offense can make big plays against this defense. We can get deep.
They both believe in that 4 wideout set. Detroit just going with it on a full-time basis. Flag down on the kickoff. Brought up by Kenny Johnson. He breaks loose. To the 24-yard line of the Lions. Troy Johnson, number 83, caught up with him, but the flag is apparently against the Oilers.
It appeared to be an offside by one of the people in the front line of the Houston Oilers return team.
Jerry Seaman, the referee, makes his first call, signaling offside.
Offside, number 21 receiving team, re-kick, 5-yard penalty.
Tracy Eaton charged with the offside. A 67-yard return will be wiped out.
Kenny Johnson, former Atlanta Falcon, played for Jerry Glanville when he was the coordinator there. Gets a lot of very good blocks in the middle, and then just tries to sort of turn on the speed. But the Detroit Lions have got equal speed to match him, drive him out of bounds, led by William White, number 35, and Bland, 83. But, you know, you look at these two teams, check this out. You don't think these guys are on a record pace? Matter of fact, Houston's on a pace to break the NFL record. Between them, 143 penalties in only 8 games.
Well, the difference is in their records. Houston's 4-4, but the Lions' penalties, along with their other misdemeanors, or crimes, I guess you'd call interceptions and drops, have them at 1-7. They've really been hurt.
Those are football felonies, Tim.
Indeed. Woody Allen would appreciate those numbers. And there is Kenny Johnson, number 22.
Well, he's definitely warmed up at this point. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's still breathing heavily.
You know, we saw that last stat there on Eddie Murray, 29 kickoffs, only 1 touchback. That can be a little misleading. People figure a kicker has to drill the ball out of the end zone. That's not always true. He kicks for coverage, high and short.
Lorenzo White is in the middle. And again, it's coming to Johnson. Kenny Johnson. He is hit at the 25. The ball came loose, but it looks like it'll be Houston ball at their 26-yard line. Nico Noga put the hit on him. So Warren Moon, last time they played, big day for him, a career-high 398 yards. And Warren Moon, having the best season of his NFL career, will play behind this offensive line. And we show George Yarno, but Jay Pennison, the starter, who has been bothered with an injury to his knee, is indeed starting there today. Chris Burholtz for the injured Bob Morosco at tight end. Rozier and Highsmith, Hill and Givens the receivers. Duncan and Jeffries come in when they go to their version of the silver stretch. On first down, Rozier stopped by the nose man Jerry Ball. Did not get much, maybe a half yard. So Jay Pennison, who obviously just said to the staff, hey, I'm not sitting this one out, I want to play. Bothered all week with an injury suffered against Cleveland a week ago. Has had virtually no practice, but limping with a sore knee, he has made the start today. Packers up on top of the Bears in the first quarter, and Seattle leading Kansas City 7-0. We'll be watching that NFC Central along with the AFC for you. Alonzo Highsmith and Alan Pinkett now the running back pair. They've got great talent at that position. Highsmith for about 5 yards. Victor Jones, the linebacker. Williams, the defensive end, made the stop. Williams in ball with Kevin Brooks still in that spot normally occupied by Keith Ferguson. Toby Caston will come in on passing downs. Williams, Spielman, Jones, Jamison, Michael Kofer, still bothered with a foot injury, will be in on the passing downs. Taylor and Holmes on the corners. Crockett and Griffin join the secondary in the long passing situations. 4 wideouts for Houston on third down. Gibbons, Duncan, Jeffries, and Hill. Boom, the time. Passing man, Gibbons. Gibbons all the way to the Lions' 39-yard line. Jerry Holmes drove him out.
Okay, here's Gibbons as the motion man right here. We're going to see him go across in motion, and then he's going to cut back, and Warren Moon's going to hit him. He makes it a 3-receiver side out there to the right of your screen. Warren looks out to the left, pumps back, sees Gibbons clear underneath, and he hits him, he's off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him right here until he gets way, way into the backfield, and number 43, Jerry Holmes, finally drives him out of bounds.
32-yard pass play on first down. Lorenzo White gets about 8 up the left side. And for an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, we want to show you how the Green Bay Packers have jumped ahead of the Chicago Bears. Clint Vidier, former tight end and H-back with the Washington Redskins, and it's 24 yards, and the Packers could upset the Bears today. Back to Tim.
All right, well, that's obviously a game of big interest to fans who follow the NFC Central. A lot of you looking into the Detroit area. We'll keep you up to date on that game. Second down, a long 4, Houston. Highsmith inside the 30. Make it Rozier. Rozier, number 30, gets inside the 30. And the Oilers using 3 of their very good running backs in this very first series.
Tim, Jerry Glanville says he likes to get a lot of Highsmith and Rozier in early. They're the big backs. They run heavy. They can wear guys down. Then he gets Alan Pinkett in there late. Plus something else to look for. Their regular tight end, Bob Morosco, is not in there. We should see a lot of 4 wide receiver today.
Third down and about 3, and the Lions have brought in James Cribbs along with Toby Caston up front. Draw play to Highsmith. Tripped up by the linebacker Caston in his down defensive end position. And it'll be close to the first down as Highsmith threw himself forward trying to get to the marker. Blades helping the officials with the spot there for the Lions. Now Jerry Seaman saying that he fumbled the ball out of bounds over there, and so they bring it back from the point where the ball was fumbled. But it is still Oilers' ball, but 4th down and a long 1.
This play here almost looks like a start of a pass and a quick motion draw, and Caston just reaches out and grabs Highsmith out and trips him. Otherwise, it's an easy first down for the Oilers.
Well, it looked like Highsmith was trying to reach the ball out to get to the first down marker and lost it out of bounds. So the Oilers take a timeout now with this 4th and a long yard to go at the Lions' 28. We'll be right back. Jerry Glanville is going to go for it, and they are 5 for 5 on 4th down situations.
Jerry's got that poker face working pretty good today. He's tugging at that, as Chris Spielman referred to it as, that net bowl-sized belt buckle he wears there on his pants.
That's a serious belt buckle there for the cowboy from Detroit. This guy's from Detroit. He's gone Texas. 7 minutes remaining. First quarter. First big play of the game. Rozier. It'll be close. Lions say they stopped him. It's a little slow developing, Randy.
Well, that's the kind of play it was. In an eye-back situation like that, driving into the line, it's not going to hit really, really fast. What the key on the spot here is Rozier gets a lot of push before he is pushed back. He gets an excellent hole on that side, but behind Verhulst and Steinkuhler, get a nice lead block. And see, Spielman meets him in the hole, but look at the step back he takes, and then he drives him back. I believe it's going to be a first down.
Rozier at 2:15 has pounded out the first down in a very close call. So Houston, first down at the 27-yard line of Detroit. 6:53 to go, first quarter. The Lions lead it 7-0. Gibbons out to the left. Drew Hill to the right. 2 setbacks. Highsmith and Rozier. Kind of time for Moon, and he finds a man. Drew Hill. First down, Oilers to the 17. Well, they're going to take a measurement. It is close. It appears from our view that they've made it. Drew Hill came over from the Rams back in '85. Wasn't a happy camper at that time because this was a team down in the dumps, but as he told us, on Friday, with the first down. Things have certainly turned out well for him, and he really loves his relationship with Warren Moon.
Without a doubt, he is the guy Moon looks to in tight situations like that. Moon's back there looking and looking and looking. He finds Drew Hill. Look at this. Everybody makes a big deal about all the other receivers in the league. Drew Hill, number 2, behind Jerry Rice in total yards since 1985.
Well, there's some kind of a little signal there from Drew Hill. Trying to figure that one out for you. Rozier blasts his way for about 4 inside the 15. Pickup of about 4 yards for Rozier. Victor Jones on the stop. The tight end Berholtz goes out. 2 more wideouts come in for the Houston Oilers, and the Bears now have a field goal to make it 7-3. Tampa Bay up on top of Cleveland. AFC and NFC Central teams involved. 2nd down and 8. Again, lots of protection. End zone, incomplete. Flag down. Blades had the coverage on Ernest Givens, and it may have been too good. William White flew into the action. Blades had the initial coverage.
Pass interference, number 36 defense. First down, 1-yard line.
Benny Blades.
And Wayne Foss has said time and time again, these are the kind of mistakes that kill us. Moon gets great protection, throws, watch for right over the back. See, he gets there with that left hand over the receiver's left shoulders, on Gibbons' left shoulder. You can't do that, especially with a back judge standing right there behind you.
So the Oilers' opening drive at the 1-yard line now. 1st and goal. Highsmith and Lorenzo White in the I formation. White. Close. Touchdown. Lorenzo White, the number 1 pick a year ago from Michigan State, has the first Oiler touchdown, and each team has scored on their opening drive.
You look at backs like White, Rozier, Highsmith, with this big physical offense. Check comes around the corner here. 63 just bumps Victor Jones. Spielman gets a hold of White. He can't bring him down before he's in the end zone. These big physical backs are going to make 1 yard unless you get low legs.
And Dejas with a point after, and we have a tie game with 5:10 to play in the first quarter at the Astrodome. Lorenzo White's touchdown is tied at 7. Lorenzo White has scored the Houston touchdown to tie things here with 5:10 to go in this first period. And the Lions, you can see mired down there at the bottom, 1-7 as they begin the second half of the season. We'll be tracking that Bear-Green Bay game for you, a big one as things are really tight at the top. The Bears and the Vikings tied at 5-3. Dejas will kick it off. The Oilers were 7-1 in the House of Pain last year, and they have their 3-game home stretch beginning here today against the Lions. Walter Stanley driven back to the 10-yard line, got to about the 13, stopped by Bubba McDowell. Chris Spielman, that could be a cut that he already had acquired in action earlier this season. It's reopened. I think that's where it was, up there above his left eye.
You know, Chris got a little pro wrestler in him, too. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't sort of nick that a little bit before the game and say, God, when I start bleeding, I get into it. Let me get a little red.
Well, I hope they have a good cut man down there on the sideline. Looks like a boxing corner there. Alex Stewart is losing effort against Holyfield last night.
You know, we saw Walter Stanley on that last kickoff catch that ball. He has carte blanche to make things happen from Frank Gams, their special teams coach for Detroit. It's very unusual to give a receiver that kind of freedom.
First down from the 12. Peete got a man wide open. Richard Johnson to the 40-yard line. First down, Lions. The run and shoot going well so far.
The key here, though, it's a great pass by Peete and a nice catch by Richard Johnson, who quickly gets out of bounds. Look at the pass protection. Houston's had a problem all year long putting pressure on the quarterback. Pete's very confident, hits Johnson 84 in his stride, and he just kind of goes out of bounds before Patrick Allen has a chance to hit him. But this offense has got to have those type of plays from the wide receivers to offset the nice runs by Barry Sanders if they're to stay in this game.
29-yard play. Lions at their own 40. Sanders dropped behind the line. Slashing in, Wade Childress, having a Pro Bowl kind of year. He'll play every down. That's why.
Jerry Glanville says Childress, number 79, is going to come right through the middle of your screen there to get Barry Sanders. Grabs him by the jersey. Look at the grip on this guy. Good play. But look at Barry Sanders. Everybody says he's got great lower body strength. Watch these feet. Now this is quick feet. Dart, dart. I want to go back. Going to come back. Keep going. Childress gets a nice grab of the jersey number 79 and brings him down to the ground. But I was going to say, Jerry Glanville loves this guy Childress. So he said about 3 things to me, like, hi, coach. Yeah, you're right. Man, a few words, but a lot of play.
Second down and 15. And it's Childress again. Peete had a good fake, but Childress didn't buy it. And a flag down behind the line of scrimmage, likely a hold against the Lions, as Childress came barreling in again.
Holding, number 67 offense, penalty decline, third down.
Ken Dallafor, all he could do to stop Childress.
Okay, Dallafor right here, number 67. You're going to see he's the one that's going to get caught holding against Childress, number 79. As the play develops, we'll see the two get together. Sees an open blocking. Dallafor reaches out. Look at that grip he's got on with his left arm. Gets him again with the right arm. Tries to pull him down. Can't quite get him. Worst combination of things. He can't hold right, and the guy gets the sack.
Third and long. Sanders draws. Picks up about 12 yards back to the 37-yard line. Got well short of the first down. The Lions will have to punt. Tracy Eaton made the stop on Barry Sanders. Well, the Oilers and their scoring drive used up 5:49 on the clock, and that's what Jerry Glanville likes to see. And now they have stopped the Lions on the next series, and they'll get the ball right back. Kenny Johnson awaiting the punt from Jim Arnold. Arnold at his own 21. Johnson with a somewhat hesitant move, but turned it into about a 4-yard gain to the 28-yard line of the Oilers. And we'll be back at the Astrodome in a moment.
Here the score in Houston, Detroit 7, Houston 7. Watch this with Kenny Johnson. He's fair catching the ball. He wants to go and catch it, but he says, hey, I can't get there in time. He lets it bounce. Now watch him catch it in hesitation. What do I do? He catches it and runs, and everybody else is saying, you can't do that. The rule is, the ball hits the ground. You can go. It's a live ball. It's only a fair catch if you catch it in the air. See, he's explaining it to his buddies on the sideline right there. He says, hey, I knew that. I was just trying to fake him out.
Yeah, right. It looked like he was just going to stand there for a second. You know, like he'd caught it in the air. He's laughing about it himself. Fortunately, the mind clicked in for him. He realized that once he had it in his hands, he might as well run somewhere with it. He picked up about 4, got to the 29-yard line.
Well, you look up and see guys like Toby Caston coming at you. It's going to get your attention right now.
So from the Astrodome in Houston here in the first period, 2:50 to go. We have a tie ball game, each team scoring on its opening drive.
And Houston's doing right now, they're going to their ball control. They haven't gone to the big play, and Detroit's hanging in there with them.
Warren Moon, 3 of 3 passing. 4 of 4, Gibbons. Good job by Jerry Holmes fighting off the block, and Gibbons wound up going backwards on the play. But Jerry Holmes, the veteran and often maligned corner over there, did a good job forcing, in effect, a loss.
Gibbons is coming off the left-hand side of your screen. He goes off like a hook, and he runs right back at Warren Moon. There is no crease in the zone. He makes the crease in the zone. And he goes, look at Jerry Holmes. He's stumbling, he's going down, but he still manages to reach out and tackle Ernest Gibbons.
Gibbons gave up about 2 yards, maybe 3 on that play, but it is a close to 6-yard gain. Rozier, first down, Oilers, to the 44 of Houston. 1:55 in counting down first period. Green Bay Bear game remains 7-3. Cleveland and Tampa tied at 7. Buffalo on top of Atlanta 7-0. Frank Reich still going at quarterback for the injured Jim Kelly. First down Oilers at their own 44. Maybe 2. Good defensive coverage on the right side. Kevin Brooks playing the run well. Number 97, Spielman there with him. Spielman, the kind of guy that wants to play every down. In fact, is insulted that he's taken out on the passing downs and is determined to prove to the coaches that he can play the pass too.
He said that yesterday to us. He goes, well, you know, a nickel we bring in, well, I'm not going to go into this, but I'll do something about that.
Well, you know, I think the knock on him as a rookie was that he didn't have lateral speed. But actually, he runs a 4.740, and the way he's been playing this year, he's shown that he can get sideline to sideline.
But in defense of the other view, 4.7 nowadays is a good speed for a fast defensive end, not for a linebacker.
2 it up. 2nd and 9. Highsmith gets about 5 to midfield. Warren Moon himself had said that he wanted to have more big plays today. So he thought that was part of the reason they're 4-4, that he understands Glanville's approach, grind it out, beat the other teams physically, use up the clock. But he thinks they need to get on top of their opponents by getting some big plays early. Well, they struck first today with a long pass setting up their opening touchdown. And we've reached the end of the first quarter at the Astrodome in Houston. The Oilers 7 and the Detroit Lions 7. She opted for a polo match today because her dad is playing, and that's where she is in Houston this afternoon. And we'll keep you updated on the score from the polo match.
Well, there's a lot of excitement here in Detroit about the Duchess of York, but don't forget, Jazzy Jeff was in town too here in Houston.
Well, I don't know whether as many folks picked up on Jazzy Jeff, but you don't know. Third down, pardon me, 3rd and 4 as we start the second period, and that pass complete at the sideline. Lions say that he was out of bounds. So far, it's a completed pass signal. Curtis Duncan.
Warren Moon is going to step back here and fire the ball out to Duncan. Now watch this. He catches the ball. He was not pushed out of bounds. I believe on a replay, they may side with Detroit fans on that. But maybe not, I guess. Here it is one more time. Watch. He's got the ball, only 1 foot down, and he's diving out of bounds. He's going out of bounds in the air backwards.
And it didn't look like Bruce Alexander got there in time to put a hand on him. If he had been pushed out, of course,
right,
they could rule that complete.
Here it is again. He's got the ball. He has possession now. He's out of bounds.
I think Alexander was just too late. It looked like Alexander got a hand on the ball as Duncan was already out of bounds, with the ball out of bounds. Bruce Alexander, a rookie from Stephen Austin, just activated for today's game off their development squad because Bruce McNorton inactive with a knee injury. Normally plays in the nickel and dime offense for the Lions. So the replay crew, Dave Kamansky is the official, consulting now with those on the field, led by referee Jerry Seaman. It looked like his own momentum was simply going to carry him out of bounds without his ability
After
to
further
get 2
review of
feet in.
instant replay, it is determined the receiver juggled the ball. We have a reversal, incomplete pass, going back to the line of scrimmage.
So it's an incomplete pass I don't know about the juggle, but the point is that it was apparent that he was out of bounds without 2 feet in.
Now that they've interpreted this as a juggle, let's watch for after the ball makes contact with his hands. Watch, Duncan gets the ball. What they're saying is here, he's airborne, but now he doesn't have the ball. See that? It goes away from his hands, away from his body, then he catches it.
Either way, he's out of bounds. 4th down.
Boy, Infant never thought there was a doubt the whole time. Could have saved us a minute.
A minute? How about 3 or 4? Back at the 35-yard line. Weather punter Greg Montgomery making his first appearance in that role. Some jumping around here at the line of scrimmage as the Lions thinking rush. And they made a rush and knocked the punter down. Flags fly as Stanley has it at the 12. Stanley, good return to the 28. But that's going to be wiped out. Terry Taylor had a good charge on the punter Montgomery, and if he wasn't blocked into him, it looks like it'll be roughing the kicker.
When you're looking at blocking a punt as a special teams player, and here's our call.
Running into the kicker, number 21 defense. The blocker did not change his direction. First down.
Exactly. Frank Gans, the special team coach from the Detroit Lions, has got to teach these guys, and I'm sure he does, they got to be out in front of the kick. At no time was he out in front of the kick. He was headed for the punter the entire time. And I'm sure, now watch, he's going to, okay, we're going to keep going. We're going to look at it now from the end zone. He's going to get up, and he's going to say, gee, who, me? I couldn't possibly have done it. Now watch, he was never going in front of him. He was always headed at the punter. That's why it was roughing.
First down, and Rozier scraps his way for about 3 to the 41-yard line. Oilers get a real break there with the penalty against the Lions, the kind of thing that has hurt them through the first half of the season. An effort to block the punt that, as Randy so well described, just not getting the right angle and winding up running into the kicker. Rozier, 20 yards on 7 carries so far, and leading his team a 2nd and 7 at the 41-yard line. Griffin and Crockett, along with Coker, into the Lions defensive unit. Gibbons in motion. One-handed grab by Drew Hill. First down, Oilers.
Drew Hill says nothing to it. Nothing a veteran shouldn't do every day. But this is the kind of pass. You see Warren Moon drop back to pass. He has confidence no matter where he puts this ball. Number 85, Drew Hill's going to come down with it. Well, he puts it in a pretty tough spot. High and away. He'll still manage to get that left hand up there. Benny Blades drives him out of bounds and chases him out.
Oilers at the 32 of the Lions. 13-13 to go in the first half. Killen motion. Now sets up in the slot right. Hill, loose ball. Spielman has it for the Lions. It'll be Detroit ball. Inside Houston territory. Chris Spielman showing some of that 4.7 speed after he picked up the loose ball.
It's a fine play. Warren Moon just has Hill sit down right in front of the linebackers. Now he's trying to make something happen. He forgets about the ball. Benny Blades, number 36, knocks it out. And here's Chris Spielman showing us some of that 4.7 speed and why possibly he's not on the nickel coverage. Here it is one more time. Watch Blades bat the ball out as he's tackling him. The ball takes a nice bounce right up into his hands. He was thinking about lateralling right there.
So Detroit at the 49 of Houston getting the ball back, having kept the Oiler drive alive with that penalty on the punt. Sanders gets about 5. 12:52 to go here in the first half as we see Spielman Manny came up with a loose ball. We're tied at 7. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Astrodome. And it'll be second down and 6 from the 45-yard line of the Oilers for the Lions. Deep for Stanley. Incomplete. Chris Dishman, number 28, had the coverage.
Now, as things start right here, you got 3 receivers on this side. You got 1 receiver on this side. That means we're talking man-to-man right here. And what Stanley's going to do is come out here, number 87, and Pete's going to try to hit him high over the top. And it's not quite going to work out, but this is the kind of matchup the Detroit Lions want. They want to get their trips receivers, the 3 guys on one side, and try to draw one-on-one and put a lot of pressure on Dishman and Brown and company over out on the corner.
Rodney Peete 2 of 4 now, 76 yards passing. And Peete opting for a timeout with 12:09 to go in the first half, something the rookie quarterback didn't like. We'll be back. 7-7 here in Houston, and an interesting week producing these kinds of results. You can see how close it is between the NFC and the AFC. But parity evidently here, 20 of 28 teams at 500 or better. You know, that gets knocked a lot, that somehow it's equated with mediocrity. I kind of like the idea that you don't know who's going to win every week.
Well, I think what it is, Tim, is we're finally seeing the true impact of the USFL and the Plan B. All these things that have happened in the last 4 or 5 years, there's been a reshuffling of the talent. And I think a lot of these teams that for years were down have gotten an opportunity to get some real impact players.
Well, of course, your old team, the 49ers, still coasting along there with only 1 loss so far.
Well, they're limping more than they're coasting.
Well, yeah, that's good. Third down. Lions. Houston 45. Peete what's right. Complete. Johnson to make it McDonald, number 89. Keith McDonald. And a Lions first down.
You know what's curious here? Watch Sanders at the running back. Pete's going to fake like he's going to give it to him, and it just sort of gets in there and draws everybody in. Then Peete rolls out to the right, finds McDonald, and Steve Brown, number 24, at the last minute runs out there and gets him out of bounds. But Brown, it was a good play by McDonald. McDonald knew where his markers were, and he knew the goal on that particular play was to get a first down. He got it.
And Peete certainly made it look like he wanted to go left. A well-executed play. First down, Lions. Richard Johnson in motion, number 84. And an Oiler, Sean Jones, leaps over there before the ball comes up, bringing a shower of flags.
Now look at those black high tops Sean Jones has got on there. Maybe that's a throwback to his old Raider days.
Offside, number 96 defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You know, Jones is the only guy out there with him. What does that mean, Randy?
Well, when I was playing with the 49ers, Tim, Ronnie Lott and Eric Wright used to like to do that all the time, and they were told after about 4 or 5 games by the league office that it's going to cost you. If you want to be independent, you want to be the rebel and the guy different, that's fine, but you have to pay a fine per game for wearing it.
Sean Jones is willing to pay the penalty to be the only guy with black shoes. First down and 5. Sanders dancing around like a water bug behind the line, but excellent defensive play by the Houston Oilers. The charge led by Johnny Meads, the linebacker, 91. And they shut him down for no gain. You know, one thing that really jumps out at you when you watch film of this team, the Houston Oilers, Timmy, is the pursuit down the line of scrimmage. They are very, very persistent. They never give up. Meads was broken back 2 or 3 times on that play, and he and Ray Childress were beaten and came back and made the tackle. So still second and 5. Short drop for Peete. He's got his man. First down. Johnson, Richard Johnson to the Oilers' 17-yard line. Now, we had the opportunity to watch the Lions last week, and even though they lost in overtime, you can just see this week to week growing in confidence of Rodney Peete.
Rodney Peete knows right here he's going to get hit, but that's no big deal. He knows if he sends his receiver, Richard Johnson, number 84, right up the slot, it's going to be open. This Houston Oilers defense seems to be having a hard time adjusting to this run-and-shoot offense of the Detroit Lions. They're leaving gaps in the defense.
A 14-yard pickup. Lions threatening at the Houston 17. Sanders trying to get outside. Good job by the Oilers. No gain, maybe a loss of a yard. Grimsley led the defensive charge, number 59, to make first contact. Smith a little slow to get up, the nose man, number 99.
You know, that was a curious play, and look at where they rank. 21st as far as number of touchdowns with their opportunities inside the 20, and that was really a curious play on the Detroit Lions side, because why have 3 receivers and all those defenders on the left-hand side of the field and then run a run over there? You're just asking to have too many defenders and you don't have enough blockers to cover.
Well, there were a couple of questionable calls late in the game last week by the Lions. An inside handoff to Richard Johnson that was busted. Peete to the end zone, incomplete. Richard Johnson, the intended receiver, number 84. Ball was there, he couldn't quite bring it in near the end line. And we talked about 2 of the questionable calls. One of them was Richard Johnson's run in a key situation late.
Johnson's flanked inside on the left-hand side here. You're just going to see him come down, head towards the end zone, and right about here in the back of the end zone, the ball is actually going to hit his hands. He hesitates a little bit there, fakes him out. Now watch this ball come on, hits his hands, and just bounces off him. He had plenty of room to catch it and get feet in for a touchdown.
3rd and 10. Eaton, Johnson, and Dishman in the secondary for Houston. Peete, touchdown. Robert Clark. Flag down. But Clark all alone in the end zone, and Rodney Peete flushed out to his left, patiently waiting for somebody to come open. 16-yard touchdown strike Peete to Robert Clark.
You see a quarterback like this with the poise and athletic ability, it's got to make you wonder why he lasted to the 6th round.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 21, defense. We have a touchdown, 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
Ooh, 6 points and 15 yards credited to Tracy Eaton, number 21.
That was more of a case of frustration. I think he saw Clark catch the ball in front of him and just said the heck with it, went ahead and hit him anyway. But I said about Rodney Peete about being a 6th rounder. Look at that. Look at the poise he's got. Look at his intelligence. Look at his athletic ability. How is that a 6th rounder?
Hard to imagine. I think he's going to be a terrific quarterback in this league. Murray's point after. And the Lions, who led early, lead again with 9:25 to go, first half.
Now Robert Clark just comes down. We won't even see where he's going to end up. Look at Peete scrambling and moving. Sean Jones, number 96, comes off the ground, starts to get after him. Right now, Peete spots Clark in the back of the end zone, catches the ball, clearly a touchdown. 6 points. That is unnecessary. And we're going to see this one more time, and we'll see all the flags come out here. Here's the hit. Don't do it. But he did.
Ruined his spike. (14-7), Detroit Lion lead. A 16-yard touchdown by this young man, Robert Clark, a Plan B free agent, came over from the New Orleans Saints and a starter here on this somewhat maligned group of wide receivers. There aren't any all-pros out there. They're all free agents, but Clark has been one of the better ones. Short kickoff to the 10-yard line. Kenny Johnson flagged down. Johnson got maybe a yard over the 20 to the 21. Buried there and a flag down upfield. So the Detroit Lions will have a holding penalty against the Oilers.
Holding, number 53 receiving team during the return. First down.
Eugene Seal getting the penalty. So 2 consecutive penalties, counting the one on Tracy Eaton on the touchdown play. backing up the Oilers now to their 10-yard line. We're at the Astrodome in Houston with 9:17 to play first half, and the lowly Detroit Lions with a 14-7 lead.
So far, Houston Oilers are looking into a mirror and seeing the Detroit Lions. Detroit's got an effective running game. They're making big plays with the run and shoot. Houston's not having a bad game, but Detroit is not laying down, I think, as Houston expected.
So first down, Houston at their 11. Play action on his first down play. Moon, and it's incomplete, intended for Rozier. Rozier looked like he either stumbled or stopped, and Moon expecting him to run farther on the play. Brings a furrow to the brow of quarterback Warren Moon. 3:35 on that Detroit scoring drive, culminating with the 16-yard touchdown pass. Rodney Peete to Clark, finding him in the corner of the end zone after eluding the rush. Cribbs in defensively for the Lions, along with Michael Coker on the 2nd and 10. Moon from the shotgun. Middle of the field. First down, Houston. Haywood Jeffries, first catch of the day, number 84, to the 36-yard line.
Houston came out early today showing the tight end with Verholst at tight end, number 88. So far, we've seen a lot of the 4 wide receiver since they have gotten it. Here's Jeffries right here, number 84. We'll just see him come up, go through, and get a reception. This is the kind of thing the Houston Oilers need to do. They need to get these 4 wide receivers, and they need to keep Detroit guessing and not attacking. So far, Detroit's been able to attack this Houston Oilers defense. Offense, I should say.
Ray Crockett made the stop there for the Lions, and they go from the shotgun and throw on first down again. Curtis Duncan. Gain of close to 8 yards for Houston. And Bruce Davis with a little pushing and shoving.
Big Bruce Davis. It's hard to believe this guy was bigger. He just lost 45 pounds, which on a 315-pound guy, you don't always notice at first glance.
Jerry Glanville says he's discovering places on his body that he didn't know he had.
Jerry Glanville went on the same diet and lost 33 pounds. Glanville looks excellent. He's a great elf, despite the snake bite.
Davis was in just a little push and shove there with Kevin Brooks. The game is done. Second down. 4 yards to go. Long 3, really, for the Oilers. Protection. Moon up the middle. Has a man. Drew Hill. First down. Oilers inside the 40. William White, number 35 on the hit.
Warren Moon right now is doing what Warren Moon does excellent, picking defenses apart. He loves his 4 wide receiver offense, and he thinks they ought to run a lot of it so he can do things like this. And he's got a receiver like Drew Hill. It takes a lot of faith for a wide receiver to get that high in the air. And Whitey had the time. Watch Bruce Davis, number 77, against Kevin Brooks, number 97. Starts from the up position, a little hand fighting, a little punching. You wonder why defensive and offensive linemen from time to time start fighting each other? That's why.
Oilers in Detroit territory inside the 40. Moon, 9 of 11, passing at 60% this year. Highsmith, loss on the play. Toby Caston, linebacker number 50. You will see him lined up at defensive end. He is a former Oiler. Came over to Detroit as a Plan B free agent.
And Wayne Fonts told us if they come out in a lot of this 4 wide receiver, you'll see a lot of Toby Caston at outside defensive end rushing the passer. Toby likes this. Look at that. I like it. Little enthusiasm. Jerry Glanville teaches all his players. You know, Caston's one of Glanville's special teams guys that used to scare people. Jerry says, I love watching these guys play special teams. Unfortunately, now they're playing for somebody else.
We have the best special team in the league, but they're all playing for other teams. Really felt badly about the loss of Plan B. On second down, Duncan took quite a hit, but held on to the ball. It'll leave third and about 3. Alexander in his first game this season as a Lion, number 32, Bruce. And he's from Stephen Austin College here in Texas. No doubt some friends and family excited about seeing him today.
Here's our quarterback comparison. Pete's off to a good start. Moon off to a little bit better start, though without a touchdown. You know, Warren Moon is in a class along with Joe Montana, I believe, and Dan Marino. They can read a defense so quick, they know immediately where they're going, and they stick with it.
3rd and 2. Rozier is stopped, and I believe he is short of the first down. Jimmy Williams, the linebacker, number 59, James Griffin, number 34, making the tackle.
Well, Jerry Glanville likes to describe the running style of Mike Rozier as he runs heavy. He's got an opening, but Jimmy Williams hits him right about the midsection and drives him down into the ground. Great tackle by Jimmy Williams. Jerry Glanville, I believe, is going to go for it here on 4th down. The second time today, he's going for it on 4th. The guy loves to gamble, and here's another one.
They need a full yard. And they've got it. Drew Hill to the 23-yard line. Terry Taylor on the tackle.
How many offenses in the NFL, Tim, come up in 4th and 1 in a crucial situation in the second quarter and come out in the shotgun and throw the ball? They've got so much confidence in what they can do in this 4 wide receiver offense, and Moon has the world of confidence in number 85, Drew Hill.
He's gone to him on every key pass play in this first half so far. 4:46 to play. Lions lead it 14-7. Into the air on 1st down. Gibbons drops the ball. Ernest Gibbons trying to get upfield a little too quickly. 2nd and 10. Gibbons been bothered with the flu all week. Missed a lot of practice, but out there as a starter today. Still 7-3. Green Bay on top of the Bears. Cleveland now beating up on Tampa Bay. Browns who beat Houston last week. Buffalo leading Atlanta 7-3, and Miami on top of Indianapolis. Dolphins have been struggling, but they're leading by a touchdown. Look at this. The Jets really struggling this year, leading New England. 2nd and 10. Oilers. 24. Pressure. Incomplete. Jeffries and Jerry Holmes colliding. I believe Jeffries was the intended receiver, although Drew Hill was there as well, and the Oilers complaining there should have been interference on Holmes, but it looked more like Jeffries ran into him.
Right. Holmes had established a position back there around the goal line. Jeffries had stopped. He went to turn around and start running again. Even though you are a wide receiver on the offense, you can't just run through somebody. You know, Holmes, we just talked about the New York Jets back there. He was a great receiver for a long time. You're going to see Holmes on the far left, way out here, going against Jeffries. Now watch what happens here. Holmes establishes his position, and then Jeffries runs into him. The ball lands well into the end zone.
3rd down. Gibbons gets the first down. Thrown out of bounds, and there'll be a flag here. Ray Crockett, the rookie from Baylor, well out of bounds, is going to get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for roughing him. Gibbons, it appeared, had got just to the marker with a good effort.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 39 defense. First down.
That's Crockett.
And we'll see Gibbons going in motion right here. He's going to come out. He'll sit down right in here and get hit with a pass. And the real action on this play doesn't really happen until he gets out of bounds. You'll see him set up here on the outside. No one's really covering him. There he goes. He runs out of bounds. He's now out of bounds. Crockett, well, that wasn't too much malicious mischief there, but the referee happened to think at the time that it was really unnecessary.
Crockett, I think, realized a little late exactly where he was when he threw him to the ground. Almost apologetic after it happened. First and goal, Oilers. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Chris Verhulst. Moon with a good fake. Bought himself lots of real estate out on the right side. Verhulst couldn't hold it.
Watch this fake to our left of the screen. Watch everybody go with this thing. fakes the handoff to Rozier. Watch Highsmith, number 32. He could have dumped it in between the linebackers here, but he opts to go down all the way to the back of the end zone to Verhulst, and it's behind him. He didn't lead him quite enough with that pass.
2nd and goal, Oilers. 4:15 to go first half. Lions by 7. Close to the goal line, but no touchdown. Jimmy Williams and Terry Taylor dropping them at about the 1.
Well, they're down on about the 7-yard line. They're still in the 4 wide receiver, and Warren Moon drops back and just flips it out. Gibbons had been in the slot. It ran down there and just sat down. Good tackle by Jimmy Williams, number 59, to deny him the end zone.
3rd and goal, Oilers.
They got the big guys in. Boom.
No signal yet. Now some fisticuffs and pushing going on. Chris Verhulst, the tight end, number 88, along with Jimmy Williams, the linebacker of the Lions. A no decision. And no touchdown signal. It'll be 4th and goal.
If you're going to attack one place that the Detroit Lions are lined up, it wouldn't be right in the middle. They've got Jerry Ball. They've got Williams, number 76. They've got Spielman in there. If this is the right top of your screen, you see Jimmy Williams, number 59, pushing Verhulst down, which started a little fracas.
Well, Glanville likes to see his guys out physical his opponents. He's going forward here on 4th and goal. Touchdown. Mike Rozier. So the Lions game on 3 downs from the 6, but Rozier blasted in behind a big hole.
And right where there wasn't anything for the quarterback sneak, right through the hole over Jerry Ball, number 93, where there was this time. Bruce Davis, number 77, got a great block, drove his man down to the inside, cleared the way for a quick Mike Rozier touchdown.
And the Oilers are now 8 of 8 on 4th down, translating them into either first downs or, in that case, a touchdown. 15 plays on that drive. That's the kind of football Glanville likes to see. Ahad has the point after, and we have a tie game. 3:01 remains in the first half. Detroit 14, Houston 14. Well, the Houston Oilers have tied it up at 14 apiece here with 3:01 to go in the second quarter. And they went 89 yards in 15 plays, 6:24 off the clock. Glenville's got to love that. That indeed is their longest drive of the season for the score. Here culminating it in with a 1-yard touchdown. And Ahad kicked it off. The Lions matching them here and indeed taking the lead to open the game and going ahead 14-7 before the Oilers scored a tie. From the 9-yard line, Stanley gets it to the 20. Stopped by Eugene Seal. And 2:52 to go.
There goes Mojo. Mojo's been here forever. Gets out there, gets the tee. Good roll. He's safe. Thank you.
Bill Lackey, one of the equipment men of the Oilers, is traditionally the guy that goes and gets that tee after a kickoff here in Houston, and the crowd loves it. And the players on the Oilers love it. He's a very big part of their team. And a flag down on the kickoff play.
Offside, number 94 kicking team, re-kick, 5-yard penalty.
Well, that is Glenn Montgomery, backup nose tackle. So we'll do it again. Gives Mojo another shot at glory here in the House of Pain. Well, next Saturday, our college football activity will show the 7th-ranked Miami Hurricanes Winners over East Carolina yesterday. They'll take on the 14th ranked Pitt Panthers, 2:30 Eastern time from Pitt Stadium. Miami, I guess, can at least still think about the possibilities of a national championship.
You know, they've got an opponent. Pittsburgh's only lost to your #1 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and Miami's still caught up in the what if and maybe if, you know, so and so they can beat Notre Dame. They still have a chance to get Colorado in the Orange Bowl. It's going to be a great finish the next 3 or 4 weeks in college football.
2:30 Eastern time. Miami and Pitt should be a good one next week here on CBS. Barry Sanders will now stand at the 5-yard line here with a better opportunity for a return. See whether Zendejas tries to kick it away from him. Good kick by Zendejas. Back to the 2-yard line is Stanley. Another flag down. Stanley again to the 20-yard line. This one probably against the Lions for an illegal block. Here comes Mojo again.
He can't do too many of these. Look at this guy. Will he make it to the sideline? Yes.
Good spike.
One more outside, he's going to need oxygen.
Illegal block during the return. Number 49 receiving team. First down.
Tony Page charged with the penalty, so it goes back to the 10-yard line. Rodney Peete having himself a good first half here, 5 of 8, 115 yards of a touchdown strike to Robert Clark. Setting up the opening touchdown run by Sanders with a 47-yarder on the first play of the game. Also to Robert Clark. Richard Johnson gets about 6 out the left side with that little swing pass to the flanker. Al Smith, the linebacker, number 54 on the tackle. 2:26 and counting down. Peete picking up the signal.
If you thought that play looked a little bit familiar, that almost looked like the exact same play using Johnson, number 84, in motion. There was 2 receiver side. Moved him over, got the ball, swung it out in the corner, just like Houston did earlier with Haywood Jeffries, number 84. They ready to get going here. It's not quite that much time left.
2nd and 3. And we've reached the 2-minute warning here at the Astrodome. All tied up at 14. Two minutes remaining, first half. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross, and the Lions got themselves in some time problem there. They've now used up a second timeout, and there seemed to be a little discussion between Richard Johnson and Rodney Peete at the end of that play, but they used up about 30 seconds there with nothing happening.
That's right, Tim. Both teams have 2 timeouts left, but coming into this last play in particular, they're very lackadaisical going into the line of scrimmage like it was no big deal. They're playing a team like this in this situation. They need all the time they can get. They can't afford to waste 35 seconds.
2nd and a long 3. Peete with a long count, and he may have drawn the Oilers over. Ray Childress jumped. See which way Jerry Seaman rules on this play. Childress and Lyles, the only 2 Oilers who will play every down defensively for Houston. They're the 2 key guys.
Ball start prior to the snap. Number 67 offense. Still 2nd down.
Well, they charge it against the Lions. Ken Dallafor for drawing Childress over. So that backs him up to the 12-yard line. Second and 8. Ball spotted at the 12.
The Lions have taken themselves from a situation of wanting to attack to right now they don't want to make a mistake and go in at halftime behind the Houston Oilers.
Peete swings it out for Richard Johnson. Johnson trying to get the first down. He'll be close. Al Smith made the tackle there.
A fine line there, Tim. why not go out of bounds and take a 6-yard gain instead of bolting back in for an extra 1.5 yards, especially when you're down to only 2 timeouts?
Well, I think he thought he could get to the first down, and he may indeed have it. The clock is stopped at 1:43, and we'll return to the Astrodome tied at 14 in a moment. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross with 1:43 to go, and it is apparently just short. They haven't changed the marker yet. 3rd down and inches, literally, for the Lions. On their own 20.
For a quick hitting play, all the Lions really have is a sneak.
Diving is Rodney Peete. And he has the first down. The 1:25 counting down. Lions have their next play ready to go. Oilers change up defensively. 2 players come on, 2 go off. Peete with time into the middle, complete to McDonald. Keith McDonald gets about 8 to the 30-yard line. The hurry-up isn't much of a hurry-up so far. Peete, complete. Walter Stanley wrapped up by Chris Dishman trying to strip the ball.
And Peete finally does call timeout. Very curious strategy here, Tim. Can't really figure out why they let almost 50 seconds run off the clock without trying to stop it.
It is hard to figure, and they're now down to 38 seconds left.
And Rodney Peete, he's got things figured out. He's obviously taking his time, keeping his poise about him, and getting a good protection from his offensive line. And Stanley's got the veterans know-how to say, hey, I'm going to get out of bounds. But Dishman's got him. He's holding him, trying to keep him in bounds, and he's not going to let him get out of bounds. They stop his motion. The clock keeps going.
Good job by Dishman, just trying to bulldog him down here, Texas style. Lyles came over to try and help out. Well, we've got 38 seconds left until we go to our NFL Today halftime show, where Brendan Irv will have all the scores and highlights from around the league. And our special feature, The Heat is On. You know, with all of this very tight action in the NFC and AFC Central divisions, there are some great stories in other divisions of the league, including the Phoenix Cardinals, who have been a bruised and battered team, but Gene Stallings doing a great job with them in spite of it. But the fans not really getting caught up in the effort there. And that's what our feature, The Heat is On, is about at halftime. First down. 7 defensive backs in for the Oilers now. Peete deep sideline, wide open, Robert Clark. Clark out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Good job by Rodney Peete. 7 defenders back there, and yet Clark found an open space, and Peete got him the ball.
They are now well within Eddie Murray's field goal range. It was a nice play by Rodney Peete and Clark, number 82. Murray had his 18 consecutive field goals going into last week's game, added a 19th, and had his streak snapped. But he was practicing 54, 55, 56-yard field goals before the game as we watched him. So this one is well within his range. It would be about a 45-yarder from here.
He's got a 50-yarder already this year, his longest of this season. On first down, Lions can still take touchdown. Set up the screen to Sanders, and he is mauled and buried by the linebacker, Eric Fayers, number 51.
It doesn't look like they're trying to call timeout. They're trying to get the team back on the line of scrimmage, and Rodney Peete wants to run another play before he tries the field goal.
13 seconds and counting. And he stops the clock with 9 to go. Now, will they go one more here, or will they get the kicker on the field, Randy?
I would think you've got to go with the kicker. In this type of an offense, with all the intricate pass patterns deep and outside and up the field, I don't know if you've got enough time to run another play.
I think they lost 2 more seconds off the clock after the whistle blew. And it shows 7 up there now. And Murray is coming on.
But you're right, Tim. When he grounded the ball and the referee, Jerry Seaman, blew the whistle, it was 9 seconds left on the clock, and 2 more ran off.
I don't know whether that 2 seconds would have made the difference in their decision of trying one more play or not, but they're going with Murray, and they're going to spot the ball at the 38-yard line, just inside the 38, Arnold holding. Officially will be a 47-yard attempt. Eddie Murray indoors at the Astrodome.
Pressure up the middle.
It's good. 47-yard field goal by Eddie Murray, and the Lions regain the lead. They have led 3 times in this first half. 2 seconds still show on the clock. For these Detroit Lions, a very determined group, despite a 1-7 record. They talk with confidence about where they're going. In fact, I guess Jerry Holmes had the best comments because you talked to him about his times with the New York Jets, and he said, hey, I'd rather be on this 1-17 than the Jets 1-17 because Detroit's going somewhere.
That's right, and Eddie Murray gets them 3 extra points on this field goal. The key is, look at the protection in the middle. They don't get much penetration. Number 96, Sean Jones, tries to jump up, but Eddie Murray just drives this ball, and there was never really a doubt. He cleared the uprights by a good 4 to 5 yards.
Nice hold, Jim.
He told me on the field. He told me on the field before the game today. He goes, I didn't even see him. I hear his voice behind me. You jinxed me. We did the Detroit Green Bay game last week, and he got his streak snapped at 19. He says, you know, I haven't talked to a crew the whole year about that field goal streak. I talked to you. I missed a field goal.
Yeah, and he probably really believes it and blames us, too, because they're a superstitious lot generally.
Well, what he said was that they have that infield sodded area there at Milwaukee County Stadium. He says, I don't generally like to drive my foot into the turf. I like to kind of smooth it. He says, what I generally do is if I smooth it, I yank it left. And what he did was he smoothed it and he yanked it left. You see him rubbing a little sweat there on Gaston, number 50's jersey. Get a little traction on the ball. It makes his foot contact the ball better. That's a kicker superstition.
So Murray will kick it off. Lions leading by 3. Whip kick here. Buried at the 27-yard line. Now picked up by Kenny Johnson after his lineman had just buried himself on it. That was David Williams, a rookie tackle, number 73.
The receiver declared himself down on the ground. First down.
He declared himself down.
Is that kind of like saying uncle?
Yeah, I guess he hollers up, I'm down, I'm down. Well, Kenny Johnson wanted to run it, but they'll bring it back to the 25-yard line.
Well, an offensive lineman gets a kick like this. Look at this. Williams is on the ground. He's got Maggs, number 78, holding him on the ground, and Kenny Johnson says, the heck with that. They were supposed to play with those things, not lay on them.
So they're going to bring it back to the 25-yard line. One play for the Oilers. 1 second on the clock.
You know, in this situation, a lot of fans always say, let's throw a bomb, let's go long. Generally, it's a prudent thing to have a nice, safe running play because nothing can generally go wrong on a nice, safe running play. You could get an interception return on a long pass.
Just a 3-point margin here at halftime. And Moore is going to go short. But they throw it nonetheless. Rozier to the 40, make it Alan Pinkett, number 20, to the 45-yard line. And we've reached halftime at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, with the Detroit Lions leading 17-14.
A lot of guys, Irv, were saying that Houston was the lock of the day, but you told me that bad teams on the road can be dangerous.
They always play well when they're away from their home field. They feel more relaxed.
All right, now let's take a look at that scoreboard. The Rams, desperate for a win, are on the road, but Minnesota, with 4 Rich Karlis field goals, with the lead right now. Now, you know the story with the Rams. Not running well. Well, here's Greg Bell early. Good blocking, great hole, turns it upfield, sets up a touchdown for John Robinson. He's pleased. What about the Ram defense inside the 10?
Did a great job. Of course, the Vikings had themselves for 4 field goals today inside the 10-yard line. That's one player there where Anderson ran out of his shoes.
Yeah, they came up short 3 times inside the 10-yard line. Chicago, Green Bay. The Packers have lost 8 in a row to Mike Ditka and the Bears, but today relying on their splendid young quarterback, Don Mikowski.
He looked good on this play. A play-action pass finding Clinton Didier, the tight end, who distributed the Washington Redskins, and was a Plan B player. 24-yard touchdown.
Now, when you go to the flea flicker, you got to get the ball down the field, but watch what happened. Well defended, receiver covered, man comes off a block, and they throw for a 3-yard loss on that play. And so Green Bay doing it defensively right now, and it is 7-3. Buffalo and Atlanta, Jim Kelly is back, but the Falcons' defense are keeping Atlanta in the game right now. Indianapolis and Miami and Marino with one 13-yard touchdown pass to Clayton in the game. Jets in New England, this, of course, would be a major upset. And late in the first half, the Jets stopped the Patriots, who had a turnover and got close, and they kept them out of the end zone. All right, the story. This is the first time that Kosar and Testaverde have ever squared off in the NFL. And Kosar has thrown 3 Cleveland touchdown passes, and Testaverde has thrown the other 2. That's right, the interceptions came within 19 seconds of each other. All right, Detroit and Houston, the game you're watching right now, the Lions with the lead, 17-14. And the Lions offense did it early. Barry Sanders off the option for a 12-yard gain. That set up his touchdown. And how about this move by Rodney Peete here?
Does a great job. You can understand why now the people in Detroit are so excited about this young quarterback. Nothing there, and he buys time with his great running ability. Looking upfield, finds Robert Clark in the end zone for a 16-yard touchdown.
And it was Mike Rozier who scored this touchdown inside the 5. And then Eddie Murray, of course, as you know, with the late field goal on his 17-14. Story with Seattle and Kansas City. Seattle never wins in Kansas City at 17-10. And yes, Christian Okoye has scored again from 8 yards out, and he is having a great season with the Chiefs.
Halftime at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, where the Detroit Lions, for only the second time this season, have a halftime lead. They're up on top of the Oilers by 3. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross. And certainly you have to be impressed, Randy, with the way the Lions have played this first half here in the infamous House of Pain.
Well, without a doubt, they've been physical. They've run the ball effectively with Barry Sanders. And Rodney Peete and his wide receivers have clicked so far for 30 minutes.
Well, he started the game with a long 47-yarder to Robert Clark. It led to their first score by Sanders, and then he hit Clark in the end zone here in the second.
And what makes this play is sort of the improvisational abilities of Rodney Peete. Look at him. He gets pressure. He keeps rolling. He rolls to his left, and right about now he spots Clark, number 82, in the end zone and just guns it back to the back of the end zone. Clark makes a fine catch, gets both feet in, and he gets a little late hit from number 21, Tracy Eaton, which added 15 yards to that play.
Well, Warren Moon has also had a good first half. He's had an outstanding season, passing at 60%. He's 14 of 19, but he doesn't have a touchdown pass. Rodney Peete, 11 of 15, does have the one you just saw. And on first down, both these teams like to throw on first down. Detroit has done a better job so far, averaging 9.7. And the bugaboo that has burned the Lions through the first half of the season, turnovers, they haven't had one so far. Houston, the Oilers, a little more reliable in that department, has had only the one. So we've really seen 2 well-played halves here by each team, I mean, in that respect, and we've got a close game as a result.
You know, we talked about the offense in the open. I think the second half is up to the defenses. They have to stifle their respective run-and-shoot offenses, or unless we're going to have a wild, wild runaway.
All right, well, we'll see what happens here in Houston when we return. CBS Sports coverage of the NFL will continue after this message and a word from your local station. The Astrodome in Houston, Texas, they've added 10,000 more seats here to get it up over 60,000. And losing that big scoreboard that was part of almost a landmark in the Astrodome in the early years. We're at halftime with the Lions 17-14 lead. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross watching this NFC Central team with a 1-7 mark, giving the Oilers a very difficult time and holding a 3-point margin. Now, one of the reasons they're ahead is that they're not playing to that -21 you see at the bottom there, Randy. They're last in the league in the turnover differential, -21. Houston, a very good team, second in the league, tied with the Giants at +9. But no turnovers in the first half by the Lions.
You're right, Tim. And this House of Pain crowd here in the Houston Astrodome is used to seeing their mean and aggressive Houston Oilers forcing their lesser adversaries into some pretty bad and profound mistakes. Interceptions, fumbles, turnovers, jumping off sides. Detroit's not doing it. If they can keep that up, it is going to be a very, very good half for Wayne Fontes. Maybe this is a good sign. Wayne Fontes has changed his shirt for the second half. Look at that. He was wearing the silver in the first half. He's now in the blue in the second half.
Well, I'm assuming he just worked up a good sweat in the first half here. It's a little humid in the Astrodome today.
No, we're in the South, Ken. You perspire in the South.
No pain, no gain. The fans here really getting into that. They're used to seeing their team win here. 7-1 at home last year. And this is the beginning of a 3-game home swing for them, a home stand that they hope will get them to 7-4 in the standings. The fans can't believe that this is a 500 team at this point of the year when everybody's been jockeying Super Bowl.
All the placards in the world don't help your football, and as of right now, the crowd is not a factor. The Oilers have given them very, very little to get real excited about.
Kenny Johnson returning it to the 26-yard line for the Oilers. John Miller made the stop, number 44, reserve defensive back. You can see they're at home with the Bengals and then the Raiders, and then they go to Kansas City and Pittsburgh, and they have key battles against teams in their division with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh there. And then Tampa Bay on December 10th will be here also.
10 yards on the return for Kenny Johnson.
Warren Moon locked in a duel with the rookie Rodney Peete, and Warren Moon, a big fan of Rodney Peete, sympathized that he wasn't drafted higher, spoke to him at that time and said, when you hang in there, you'll make something happen. Well, it's happening here against the Oilers. Loose ball, and it's grabbed by the Lions into the end zone. Touchdown. It was Kevin Brooks who came up with it, and then William White carrying it into the end zone. There are no flags down.
Warren Moon stepped up and stuck his helmet right in Brooks' stomach, forced a fumble. Unfortunately for the Houston Oilers, William White, number 35, was right there to take advantage of it.
Well, you know, Kevin Brooks is a guy who's been filling in for Keith Ferguson on injured reserve. He came over on waivers, cut by the Denver Broncos, had been cut by the Dallas Cowboys, 26-year-old veteran, and he's been doing a good, solid job over there. Everybody kind of conceding Ferguson a better pass rusher will have his job back. Well, Kevin Brooks comes up with a huge play here to open the second half in Houston. Murray with a point after, and the Oilers are now going to have to scoop it up here in the second half as they're down by 10, and there are boos from the fans in the House of Pain.
That's right, and they come out in their tight end offense in the eye back, flipping the ball out to Rozier here. He sees nothing onside. He cuts back and just gets hit by Jimmy Williams. See that? He lifts the ball in the air. There, Brooks turns around. Warren Moon's right there, hits him low, didn't hit him in the stomach. The ball pops out, and William White is right there. He's got nobody in his way but Jerry Seaman, the referee, to keep him from a touchdown. He holds that casted fist up in the air in triumph. Okay, here's Rozier right here. You're going to see him cut back. Watch him raise his arm as if to avoid Jimmy Williams, number 59, in the bottom of the screen. Williams is having nothing of it. Puts his helmet right on the ball, pops it in the air. Okay, now Brooks has got it. Warren Moon causes the fumble. And there's William White, cast and all, picked it up and scored the touchdown.
White with a broken thumb, that's why he's got that on there. And Brooks, I'm sure, happy to see him scoop up the fumble because Brooks had come up with a loose ball and then lost it himself. There's Jimmy Williams, the man who started all the action with a hit on Rozier. Rozier making his third start coming off an injury. Another high kickoff, hit by Kenny Johnson. Kenny Johnson with running room out over the 40-yard line and hauled down from behind by Troy Johnson. He had a long way to go. Number 83, Troy Johnson, stopping Kenny Johnson. So good field position now for the Oilers. 24-14.
With this gentleman, number 1, Warren Moon, at quarterback, this team is never out of a game. I played a game here back in about 1983. We played the Houston Oilers. We had a 500-something yard offensive day. So did Warren Moon. He kept him in the game the entire way, wouldn't let him stop. He can bring him back. Don't worry.
First down at the 42-yard line. Drew Hill for 8, up the middle. Wrapped up by Terry Taylor, the cornerback, number 21. Bill looks cool, calm, and collected, but I'm sure not pleased with starting the second half with a turnover that leads to a touchdown.
In a game like this is the risk you're always going to run when you have kind of a rough, tough, swaggering kind of a team like Houston is. They don't always take their opponents as serious as they should.
Second and 2. Haywood Jeffries. First down, Oilers to the 38-yard line of the Lions. Forced out by Jerry Holmes. Holmes, number 43, and you had a sense from the Oilers chatting with him on Friday, they thought they could do some business over there on Jerry Holmes. Holmes, for his part, thinking that maybe he had an edge because, again, being familiar with this four-wide offense.
And he mentioned the fact that, gee, I can look in and I can maybe fool the quarterback and make him have a bad read, or fool the wide receiver, so that the quarterback and receiver aren't reading the same thing on every pass play.
First down. Good catch by Duncan, holding on despite the hit from number 32, Bruce Alexander. One of the dime backs. Alexander in his first game this season off the development squad.
Anytime a defensive back sees a wide receiver hung out to dry like this, high in the air, reaching for a ball, he knows he's got to close. Watch Alexander accelerating close. If he can get the right kind of contact, he can cause a fumble. But number 80, Curtis Duncan, held on fine.
Duncan, the third-year receiver from Northwestern, plays in the four wide. Number 80. Second down at 5. Inside the 10. Blades hauled him down. Moon threw that on a rope. 24 yards. The pickup.
Now he slotted, Hills, number 85, slotted on the furthest inside receiver. See him break off the line. And Warren Moon is not looking Drew Hill the entire way. He's getting such good protection, he's able to go all the way to his third, fourth, fifth wide receivers. Then he plays, grabs him and throws him to the turf right here. But this is what makes Warren Moon and this offense so special. You give Warren Moon time, he gets a chance to check off 4, 5, 6 times and go back to his favorite receiver, Drew Hill.
First and goal. Moon stumbled on the handoff, but the Lions were on the blitz, and they just buried that running play. Jerry Ball stuffing Highsmith. Highsmith has not found room to run so far in this game. It'll be a loss of 4.
You know, normally you do a game with the Detroit Lions, Jerry Ball, number 93, is somebody you're talking about from the get-go. But when you run these run-and-shoot fancy 4 wide receiver type offenses, a nose guard is not always that involved in the defense. That's why we're seeing so much of number 50, Caston. He's getting into the defensive line as a defensive end.
Moon running out of time. Gets it off complete. Jeffries to the 6-yard line. What a pass by Warren Moon, going to his left. Difficult under any circumstance. But just fired a beauty there to Jeffries, preventing a loss. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Astrodome in Houston, watching the Oilers. 3rd and goal, trailing by 10 to the surprising Detroit Lions.
It has been surprising, Tim, but Houston has been very assertive since their early mistake here in the second half, giving up that fumble for a touchdown. Detroit, to be successful against this Houston offense, has got to put pressure on Warren Moon.
3rd and goal, Drew Hill in motion. Moon again, lots of time. Finds a man, touchdown. Ernest Gibbons. Flag thrown.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 81, Houston. 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the succeeding kickoff.
Gibbons got that for a little undue demonstration after his touchdown catch. Moon, 6 of 6 in that drive, 60 yards. culminating in the touchdown strike to Ernest Gibbons. Tony's and Deha point after. And we're back to a 3-point margin. 24-21 Lion lead.
Well, I mentioned pressure is the key to affecting Warren Moon and the Houston Oilers. They don't even get a good look at what he might look like in a mugshot or a picture. He just stands there all day long, fires to Gibbons, and Gibbons draws himself a little penalty with his shaking and gyration.
So we've got a 3-point game as Gibbons has scored for the Oilers. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Astrodome. Ernest Gibbons on a touchdown pass from Warren Moon has brought the margin to 3. Lions scoring to open the second half on a fumble by Mike Rozier, taken into the end zone by William White. Warren Moon pepping up his specials team, and the Oilers going 57 yards officially in 7 plays, 4:09 off the clock. Moon to Gibbons. Then Dejas to kick it from the 30-yard line because of the 5-yard penalty assessed against Gibbons for his little extra demonstration. Stanley is flattened at the 18-yard line. Eugene Seal. Whoa, Walter Stanley like running into a brick wall.
Now you watch this hit right here on Walter Stanley. Eugene Steele's going to come from one side. Captain 21 comes from the other. Bam, they sandwich him. Jerry Glanville loves that stuff. He'll probably sit in his office next week after watching the game films and run that back and back and back. That's one of the things he says they've been missing here at Houston is the big impact special teams players.
First down, Lions. Crowd getting into it now. Sanders, a yard maybe. And now the little roughing action gets going there. Childress fired up. Number 79. Minnesota leading the Rams 18-7. L.A. continuing to struggle. The Bears have kicked another field goal, but still trail the Packers. And Cleveland beating Tampa Bay handily. Second and 9, Lions. Sanders close to the first down yardage. Running back got right behind a blocker and just kind of snuggled up against him, kept the feet moving, wound up with a big gain. It'll be first down.
Here's Childress, number 79 in the middle of your screen, going against Glover, 53. Delafour cuts him down. They get a nice big hole in the middle. Sean Jones, 96, misses them. And just at the last minute there, number 53, excuse me, number 53, Eugene Steele, jumps on his back.
Harvey Salem was the tackle that Sanders hid behind. First down. Peete to Richard Johnson. Loose ball after the whistle. It'll be Lions ball. Pickup of 7. And we've seen that same play good for 6 or 7 yards 3 or 4 times in this game.
And we've seen it used by both teams. When you get in these 4 wide receiver offenses, you get the man coming from the backside in motion out of the slot, and they're using him almost like a swing back out of the backfield, like you'd normally use a halfback. Now watch these tackles coming in here. Jerry Glanville, when his defensive coordinator, was criticized at times for having his players be a little over-aggressive. Now, usually on the opponent, Bird, number 71, laid Mr. Donaldson, number 31, in the ear hole with his helmet on that one.
Second and a long 2. Sanders is stuffed. No gain. Robert Lyles, the linebacker, number 93. 6-year man from TCU. Glanville considers him his best linebacker, and Ian Childress, as we said earlier, you can expect out there on every defensive play, barring injury. Sean Jones in at right defensive end now for the Oilers, number 96. Incomplete. Intended for McDonald. 4th down.
With the Oilers playing more aggressively and this crowd getting into this game, this is going to be a very pivotal possession for the Houston Oilers. The Detroit defense is going to have to assert itself, or it could get out of their control.
Kenny Johnson awaiting a punt from Arnold. Arnold standing at his 23 to receive the snap. Oilers with a big push. Bearcat signal by Johnson at the 22-yard line. So Warren Moon and company will take over at that point when we return. Downtown Houston, Texas. We are at the Astrodome, not too far from those skyscrapers. And the Lions leading Houston by 3, 24-21. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross, 7:04 to go in the third. And Toby Caston, the reserve linebacker, has been seeing a lot of time as a down lineman in passing situations, being assisted from the field. He was standing out there for some time. Hard to figure out what was bothering him. It looked like maybe his calf muscles were cramping up. He's limping off now.
Well, he's been playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy running around. And you get down here in Houston, Texas, the humidity is a little higher than Detroit, and guys will perspire a little bit more, and it's going to get a lot more cramping involved, and that's what it looks like it is.
First down, Oilers on their 22-yard line. Moon under pressure. Just gets off complete. Jeffries close to the 30-yard line for an NFL update. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Tim, for the first time this afternoon, the Chicago Bears lead the Green Bay Packers. Brad Muster, the fullback, right behind the middle of the Bear line for the touchdown. And so in the third quarter, it's 13-7. Bears over the Packers, back to Tim.
Well, Brent, sounds like the Packer offense has been stifled today so far by the Bears, but the Green Bay defense doing a pretty good job. Now behind for the first time. Second down and 3 for the Oilers. First down and a big gain out to the 47-yard line of the Oilers. Jerry Holmes steered him out of bounds. Gibbons with a touchdown to his credit already.
Here we see it from the end zone. They've got a little different defensive front. They're rushing Eric Williams and Nico Noga and Brooks as defensive linemen, but they're not getting any more pressure, and the result's the same as it was the last drive. Gibbons comes across the middle, gets a nice pass from Warren Moon.
Moon now 22 of 27 on the day. And the word is on Toby Caston, yes, leg cramps, and they hope he'll be back. Hill and Gibbons, the last time they met, pretty busy guys. Really 400 yards between them. Moon up the middle of the field, wide open is Duncan. Curtis Duncan to the 30-yard line of the Lions. Ray Crockett made the stop. And the Oilers, on this drive and their previous drive, really finding some gaps in the Detroit secondary.
Well, what we're seeing, Tim, is we're seeing two things. They're not getting very good pass rush against Warren Moon, and they're running the receivers off and bringing an alternate receiver underneath in front of these zones. And that's why people say, hey, we eat zones up with run and shoot. You're seeing Duncan run with the ball here. You can't keep dropping in predictable zones against the run and shoot. It has been designed to pick them apart.
Inside the 30-yard line. Oilers driving. Highsmith gets close to 9. 5:20 to go, third quarter. Lions lead by 3. Jimmy Williams on the stop. Now they have got enough. You're looking at downtown Houston, Texas. We are at the Astrodome, not too far from those skyscrapers. And the Lions leading Houston by 3, 24-21. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross, 7:04 to go in the third. And Toby Caston, the reserve linebacker, has been seeing a lot of time as a down lineman in passing situations, being assisted from the field. He was standing out there for some time. Hard to figure out what was bothering him. It looked like maybe his calf muscles were cramping up. He's limping off now.
Well, he's been playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy running around. And you get down here in Houston, Texas, the humidity is a little higher than Detroit, and guys will perspire a little bit more, and it's going to get a lot more cramping involved, and that's what it looks like it is.
First down, Oilers on their 22-yard line. Moon under pressure, just gets it off complete. Jeffries close to the 30-yard line for an NFL update. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Tim, for the first time this afternoon, the Chicago Bears lead the Green Bay Packers. Brad Muster, the fullback, right behind the middle of the Bear line for the touchdown. And so in the third quarter, it's 13-7, Bears over the Packers, back to 10.
Well, Brent, sounds like the Packer offense has been stifled today so far by the Bears, but the Green Bay defense doing a pretty good job. Now behind for the first time. Second down and 3 for the Oilers. Gibbons. First down and a big gain out to the 47-yard line of the Oilers. Jerry Holmes steered him out of bounds. Gibbons with a touchdown to his credit already.
Here we see it from the end zone. They've got a little different defensive front. They're rushing Eric Williams and Nico Noga and Brooks as defensive linemen, but they're not getting any more pressure, and the result's the same as it was the last drive. Gibbons comes across the middle, gets a nice pass from Warren Moon.
Moon now 22 of 27 on the day. And the word is on Toby Caston, yes, leg cramps, and they hope he'll be back. Bill and Gibbons, the last time they met, pretty busy guys. 400 yards between them. Moon up the middle of the field, wide open is Duncan. Curtis Duncan to the 30-yard line of the Lions. Ray Crockett made the stop, and the Oilers on this drive and their previous drive really finding some gaps in the Detroit secondary.
Well, what we're seeing, Tim, is we're seeing two things. They're not getting very good pass rush against Warren Moon, and they're running the receivers off and bringing an alternate receiver underneath in front of these zones. And that's why people say, hey, we eat zones up with run and shoot. You're seeing Duncan run with the ball here. You can't keep dropping in predictable zones against the run and shoot. It has been designed to pick them apart.
Inside the 30-yard line. Oilers driving. Highsmith gets close to 9. 5:20 to go, third quarter. Lions lead by 3. Jimmy Williams on the stop. Now, they have got an outstanding receiving core that I think Wayne Fonts would be happy to have with Rodney Peete. Hill, Gibbons, Jeffries, look at that, how it's been spread around, and Alonzo Highsmith out of the backfield along with Pinkett. They've combined for 29 catches as well. Perfection by Moon in the second half here. Incomplete. Tough hit by Griffith on the intended receiver, Gibbons. 11 in a row by Warren Moon until that one. 9 here in the second half, 2 back in the first half, and the string is stopped.
Well, much like some of the other plays we saw earlier, they were dragging a receiver down underneath the zone late. But James Griffin, number 34, spotted that receiver coming across and closed on him just as the ball got there and forced the incompletion.
Big third down play. First critical play of the game. More so for the Lions here on this third down situation in 13. Highsmith stopped by Williams. Got maybe 2 yards. Did I say third and 13? I meant third and 3, obviously. And did he get to the marker? The spot looks like it's going to be a little short. Short by a half yard.
So we're going to see Jimmy Williams, number 59, is going to flow this way as Highsmith goes that way. And as soon as he gets the handoff, he knows where that ball's going, because Highsmith is one of those power backs. Look at him. He goes behind him, goes behind the block, and wrestles him down to the ground before he can get to the 20-yard line in that first down.
Jamison and Ball come in, another fourth down try. They're 3 of 3 today.
How long can their luck last?
That long. To the 11-yard line, 4 of 4 today, 9 of 9 on the year for the Oilers on fourth down.
Here we get a look at it from the ground level. This is just pure physical football. Highsmith blasts in there, doesn't feel much, just keeps the legs churning. Half the Detroit guys don't even know where he is, and Benny Blades comes in right here at the end and limits him to only a 7-yard gain.
Alonzo Highsmith, who says, you know, it's difficult to carry the ball as infrequently as we do as running backs here with the Oilers. I might get a couple of carries in the first half, and I'm cold when the second half begins. They're giving him a little more action on this drive. Lions call a timeout. We'll be back at the Astrodome in a moment. Well, next Sunday, our doubleheader game 1, Washington at Philadelphia. Washington playing later tonight, and the Eagles playing at San Diego a little later this afternoon. Green Bay will be at Detroit against these Lions. And our doubleheader game will be the Giants at the Rams, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So some big ones next Sunday here on CBS Sports. Giants having themselves a terrific first half. The Rams slipping badly the last few weeks. First down from the 13-yard line. Oilers fronting. Lorenzo White. Not much. A yard, maybe 2. 1 yard pickup for Lorenzo White. Ball was there. Number 93, the nose man.
Well, generally, Wayne Fontes' defense has played very well today, Tim, against the run. What they haven't done is been able to effectively contain Warren Moon and hold him into the pocket and put pressure on him. And you fully expect the Houston Oilers here to go back to their 4 wide receivers and throw the ball here on second down.
It may be exactly why Wayne Fontes believes so much in his run-and-shoot offense. Is going to stay with it because he's seeing right now what it can do to you. Oilers have been very effective. 3 of 3 inside the 20. At the 5-yard line, a flag down as Jeffries made the catch. A flag away from the ball. Tremendous hit by Blades, but Jeffries, running into that dangerous slant territory, held on.
Well, we probably had some sort of an illegal pick or push-off by the wide receiver.
Pass interference. Number 81 offense. Still second down.
Ernest Givens, pass interference, and that is usually a pick situation, especially when the ball comes into the middle, as it did on that slant to Blades. So Givens charged with offensive pass interference, and that backs it out to the 23.
And in that situation, if you're Givens, you have to go back to the huddle and look at your buddy number 84 Jeffries and say, I'm sorry you had to take that shot for nothing.
Right. We'll talk about that one later, I'm sure. So now Moon and company, second and long from the 22. Early movement by the Lions. Moon eludes the sack to the end zone, touchdown. Well, Givens made up. He just dropped to his knees to take that pass from Moon, but let's see whether the Lions were drawn or jumped. Williams was the man who moved for the Lions, and it is against Williams. Whoops, illegal procedure against the Oilers. So scratch that 6 points off the board.
Offside. Number 76 defense. Illegal motion. Number 81 offense. Penalties offset. Still second down.
So Ernest Givens, a culprit twice in a row here. Even though he caught the touchdown pass, it is wiped out.
You see, Williams here is jumping offside. Here's Givens out here in the slot. He's jumping offside. It's kind of a tie. It's a wasted play. And I tell you one thing, number 76, Williams, for the Detroit Lions, is a happy man that Givens, number 81, moved.
Moon steps up and hits his man. What a pass and what a catch. And who is it? Drew Hill, the guy he goes to when he needs him most. Down to the 7th. Third down upcoming.
Well, they've jumped off sides and they haven't been able to get to Warren Moon. Warren Moon is just getting a chance to stand back here and get his look of the defense and fires a perfect shot. That is the only place that Drew Hill could have safely caught that ball. It was low, but then again, it was not so low that he couldn't get to it.
Crockett there trying to cover, but that was impossible to stop. 2nd and 5. Make it 3rd down and 5. We've got 2 markers showing. It is 3rd down. Moon touchdown. Drew Hill. Surgical precision by Warren Moon on that drive, and just rebounding from the 2 costly penalties, one of which wiped out a touchdown. He gets it back anyway. And finally, the Oilers are ahead in this game for the first time. Tony Zendejas, the point after. 78 yards in 12 plays. There's Drew Hill, and then it caught the scoring pass.
And here's Drew Hill up here in the slot. He's going to come up here and then drag in the back end of the end zone. And Warren Moon obviously knows what Drew Hill's number is, because he seems to be looking at him the entire way. Look at him come through the backside. Touchdown, Houston Oilers.
The Houston Oilers taking the lead for the first time in the game on the touchdown pass from Moon to Drew Hill, 7-yarder, 48-24. We still have 56 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Oilers kicking off from our left. Tejas. Elvis Stanley from the 2 to the 22-yard line. Met there by Eugene Seal. Warren Moon is having some kind of a second half. 11 of 12, 131 yards, and Chris Spielman stirring things up on that kickoff play after the stop was made on Stanley. Spielman, the Lions linebacker, number 54.
I think Chris figures if somebody's got to get something going here, the emotion's got to get back on our side. The Houston Oilers have come out in the second half. They've gotten their crowd behind them. They're starting to play with emotion, and as far as momentum goes, it's all on the Houston Oilers side right now. They've got to get something going on this drive, does the Detroit Lions offense.
They'll start just outside their 20. Rodney Peete chased out of bounds. Lyles, the man to force him. Number 93.
And this isn't the way to get something going, is not to let a guy through clean. Barry Sanders, number 20, looked like he was supposed to come out and block Lyles, number 93. Childress is next on the list of trying to catch Rodney Peete. Sorry, you're not going to catch Rodney Peete from behind with a defensive tackle. Rodney Peete, in frustration, throws that ball down out of bounds.
2nd down and 14 for the Lions. Sanders on the option. Has the first down out to the 36-yard line. Lyles, the man to get him, But Sanders showed those Heisman skills there.
Well, so what if Barry can't block? What you got to look at here, you got these big splits in between the linemen. Barry Sanders just going to take this and scoot outside and say, okay, here, try to catch me. He gets good blocking. The option on the linebacker, number 51, Ferris, and he can't catch him from behind, and it's off and running into the defensive backfield.
And we have reached the end of the third quarter with the score. Houston 28, Detroit 24. We now pause for a word from your local station. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Astrodome in Houston, where the Oilers lead 28-24 as we begin the fourth quarter. First down, Lions from their own 35-yard line on the run by Sanders. Rodney Peete changing up at the line of scrimmage. Sanders, not much, a yard at most. Well, here in Houston, the Oilers fans have seen their team come back from halftime down by 3, dominating the third quarter. They had the ball for 11 minutes and 37 seconds and produced the touchdowns by Moon to Gibbons and Moon to Drew Hill. And that was after, Randy, the Lions had scored on that opening play on a fumble.
That's right, Tim. And, you know, a lot of the emotion has come out of the Detroit Lions, and it's manifested itself in two places. The offense has been ineffective in the third quarter, and the pass rush against Warren Moon has been non-existent.
2nd and 9. Peete incomplete. A quick attempt to Richard Johnson, and he threw it into the turf, taking a little heat from the backside, and Rodney unhappy with that throw. Third down. Well, again, you look for those kind of critical moments in the game. We had a defensive one for the Lions earlier. They were unable to stop the Oilers. Now, offensively here, they've got to make this third down play. Should the Oilers produce defensively, then they've really put themselves in the driver's seat for the remainder of this football game. Peete away from Childress. Deep for Stanley. Incomplete. Chris Dishman had the coverage. Kenny Johnson came over to help out, number 22. Now the Lions will have to punt, so the Oilers get the job done defensively. And you see the Minnesota Vikings leading the Rams on the strength of 6 field goals by Rich Carlos in that game, a Vikings club record.
From an offensive standpoint, the Houston Oilers defense did the inexcusable. They only brought 3 defensive linemen rushing Rodney Peete there. Childress, 79, beat Glover, 53, quick, and put immediate pressure on Peete and made him throw an ill-advised pass.
Arnold to punt. Kenny Johnson waving fair catch, makes it at the 27-yard line. So the Oilers have the football with 14:35 to go and a 4-point lead. The Oilers have been murder on 4th down. The Lions, who usually commit turnovers, have turned 2 Oiler ones into 14 points, and Warren Moon has been the man of the minute here in the third quarter. Randy Cross, he's now 25 of 31 on the game, and Houston leads 28-24. Here's a look at the go-ahead touchdown. You just saw Moon just suddenly take things over in that quarter.
That's right. This offensive line for Houston has taken over, and on this particular play, he seemed to be looking to Drew Hill, number 85, the whole way. Hill comes open. He hits him in stride. This is the key possession right here, I believe, for the Detroit Lions. Their defense has got to stop Houston here. Houston scores here. They have too much momentum to stop. I believe Detroit has no chance to win unless they stop Houston right here.
And the Oiler crowd into the wave here for the first time today. Their team with a football and a 4-point lead. in the pocket. Interception at the 40-yard line. Intended for Drew Hill. He threw it right at Jimmy Williams. The first miscue by Warren Moon today.
Jimmy Williams out of Nebraska is having an impact career kind of a day. He's causing fumbles. He's putting pressure on quarterbacks, and he's making interceptions. Nothing can be said. Warren's getting the protection he needs. Nobody's really pressuring him. He just throws a ball that Drew Hill, number 85, is not ready for. He hadn't quite turned around, and it was kind of a gift. Jimmy Williams was just standing there waiting for Hill to cross in the pattern.
Wayne Fonts greets Jimmy Williams, an emotional Lions coach. There's such a close rapport with his players, and they give him his all. It's the first interception in the last 100 for Warren Moon. Lions have it at the 38 of Houston. Play action. Peete running out of time. Childress gets them. Third Oilers sack. Loss of 4 to the 40-yard line.
Here's Childress right here, 79, going against Harvey Salem, number 73, and they're going to fake play action right here to Sanders, number 20. Now, on a play like this, the quarterback has to know he does not have all day. He looked. Childress, great persistence, finally makes the sack.
Second and 13. Peete complete. Robert Clark, loose ball. Oilers have it. Robert Clark, who has made 2 big plays for the Lions, makes another one here, but then coughs it up.
It's all right. It's a good play right here. Allen can't hold on. The fumble is made. Clark drops it before he's hit in the head, and number 51, Fairs, picks the ball up.
It was Jeff Donaldson, number 31, who stripped it.
Here's another look. Lyles comes in. It looks like he either stripped him or he dropped the ball. I can't really tell from that angle, but Ferris is right there to pick up the ball. This is the kind of mistake Detroit was making earlier that kept them from winning a few games.
Yes, it appeared that it was Donaldson who got a hand on that ball. So the Oilers have it back. Pinkett gets about 4 yards on first down. Alan Pinkett, number 20. So the Lions, who had just come up with a turnover on the interception by Williams, give it right back to the Oilers, and they still trail by 4. 28-24 Houston lead. 13:20 remaining and counting down.
Detroit must pin Houston back here so they get this ball back in decent field position for their next possession.
Second down and 6. Reaction from Moon. And he runs for the first down. Warren Moon may be a little older now at age 32, but he can still ramble. He's carried 33 times for 131 yards coming into this game.
You know, Tim, the only thing that's really kept this quarterback, Warren Moon, from getting the recognition he truly deserves is the fact that his Houston Oilers team hasn't won that many games. You put him in a winning program with the New York Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, or just about anybody else that's consistently in the playoffs, he'd be one of those quarterbacks talked as one of the all-time best.
I agree, and of course they hope that this year, because he's playing so well, might be the year with all the support that he's got. Pinkett for 7. The personnel of this Oiler team looks like it's as good as anybody's in the league. Well, there was umpire John Keck giving up his body there for the NFL. William White made the tackle.
Jerry Glanville likes to use Pinkett, number 20, here late in the second half because he's a quicker guy. You wear him down with Rozier and Highsmith, and Keck just gets caught. The umpire, Keck, gets caught and scissored by two players and goes down to the ground. Nothing serious, just a little embarrassing having to hit your backside in front of TV.
He tried to be a statue there, but it didn't work. 2nd and 2. Pinkett again. Close to the first down. Jerry Glanville right on schedule with the way he likes to use these running backs. Randy Cross mentioned it earlier that he likes to kind of save Pinkett for the second half. Rams coming back on Minnesota. Chicago on top of Green Bay by 6 in Cleveland in a shootout with Tampa Bay. Miami rebounding, and the Jets, a 1-7 team, leading New England. Seahawks, a bit of a mystery team. They really struggled in an up-and-down season. Currently at 4-4, like the Oilers, considered one of the better teams in the AFC. To the 40-yard line for a game of 5. And let's go to Brent Musburger in New York for an NFL update.
Tim, let me get you up to date now on the Rams and the Vikings. The Rams have scored another touchdown, pulled to within 4. A lot of time left, 7:20. This is 6 yards, Everett Taylor. The key here, 6 field goals for the Vikings. They've been unable to score a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for the Rams. 18-14, Minnesota leads back to 10.
Thank you, Brent. We've got a 2nd and 5 here. The Oilers leading by 4, 10:50 to go, regulation time. Smith and Pinkett in motion. Player out to Pinkett. And he's got the first down. And 6 more. Into Lions territory at the 49. George Jamison, the linebacker, number 58. Drove him out of bounds there. Well, our producer today is Robert Monsbach. The game directed by Bob Matina. Executive producer of NFL football on CBS, Ted Shaker. Outstanding technical crew bringing you the action from the Astrodome in Houston. Associate Director Richard Drake. Lorenzo White. Got about 2 on first down. 47-yard line of the Lions. And that's almost inexorable thing that happens when a team takes over. You talked about the momentum going in the way of the Oilers. They dominated play in the 3rd quarter, had it for more than 11 minutes. And the Lions appearing to sag a little here.
They got the turnover. They lost their chance on that fumble, and now Houston's doing what Houston's done so far this year. They're going to take a huge chunk out of this clock. There's a little more than 9 minutes left, a little less than 10 minutes left, and to this point, Detroit can't afford to let 6, 7, 8 minutes go off this clock.
Tracy Johnson into the game for the first time at fullback for Houston. Moon can't find a man and still has lots of time. And takes it out of bounds after a gain of about 8. Warren Moon, terrific career in the Canadian Football League, a free agent, signed by the Houston Oilers when Hugh Campbell came down as the coach, his coach in Edmonton, and they were very close. The Oilers fired Campbell, and Moon stayed unhappily at that time, but now has blended in so well with this Jerry Glanville offense. At a time when June Jones, now a Detroit coach, was here putting in the run and shoot. Things are going well for Moon. On the sneak, Moon has the first down.
A little bit of a trick play here by the Houston Oilers. Look at Pennison right here and Moon behind him, and they're going to say the heck. Moon just gives him a little goose and just goes straight ahead. There's a wide open area right there in front of Pennison and Moon. They just go right at it. And the defensive linemen, both Brooks and Williams, run right by Moon.
First down, Oilers. Highsmith. Another Houston first down at the 26 of Detroit.
A good indicator as to the emotional trend of this game right now is you watch these Houston Oilers players. None of them is taking a backward step once they contact these Detroit defenders. They're going right into them, and they're keeping driving, moving, getting those legs going. As of right now, Detroit does not have the fire they had in the first half.
Jerry Ball just took himself out. James Cribbs comes in. Ball seemed to be favoring an elbow, but he's got to be tired, and that's certainly a factor. 11 minutes. The Oilers had the ball in the third quarter, and they've had it much of the 7 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Pickett to the 18-yard line of the Lions. We're watching a team just running out of gas defensively, the Detroit Lions. White and Blades on the stop.
On the center of your screen, you see Pennison, number 52, going against Cribbs, gets a nice block. Look at Pinkett. He sees there's nothing there. He bobbles the ball. He cuts it right straight upfield. William White comes in and tackles him high, and 36 comes in, Benny Blades, and gets him low.
Ball is back in.
You know, Ball was playing on nickel today. He's been doing a lot more pass rushing than he's used to, and I'm sure he was just a little bit tired there.
2nd and 2. They've used up more than 6 minutes here. Pinkett collided with Moon on the handoff. A flag down as Ball came blasting through. I think Pinkett saw him, and in trying to change his direction to the line, ran into the quarterback.
Illegal motion prior to the snap. 2 men moved and did not reset. 2nd down.
Here's Jerry Ball right over the center, number 52, Pennison. Here's Jerry Ball, number 93. Look at him go. He knifes right through, drives through Pennison, throws him aside, just gets his hand on Pinkett, and just gets that left leg and trips him up. That's the kind of quick, aggressive style that's made Jerry Ball one of the best nose guards in the NFL.
2nd and 8 now with a 5-yard penalty. Moon has his man. Duncan, Curtis Duncan, number 80. First down, Oilers. Moon delivers again.
When you see Houston in this kind of a drive in a crucial situation late in the game like this, this is the reason a lot of people in the preseason considered Jerry Glanville's Houston Oilers one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. This has not always been the case this year. This is a style of play they have to reestablish and do against everybody.
Wearing down the Lions defense now. First down at the 13. Pinkett. Ball got him by the ankles. Williams finished him off. Number 59. Jerry Ball, inspirational player. That's a cliche description, but that's one used by the Lions themselves. This guy has just been a terrific player, and he's a great team man and kind of guy that keeps everybody playing hard. Crazy George.
Crazy George gets around. He even started out down at San Jose State, my old stomping ground. Monty Clark brought me into the 49ers back in '76. Was the first time I saw him.
I saw him back in the early 70s at the Oakland Seals hockey games, the NHL. He's a veteran.
He's a Californian.
Second down at 10. In the middle of Highsmith, sneaking out of the backfield. Gets to the 5-yard line, leaving 3rd and 2. Victor Jones and Chris Spielman, the middle linebacker, stop him there.
You notice on that play, Warren Moon and this Houston Oilers offense is getting so much confidence. They almost know what Detroit's going to do. They audibilized there late, checked off, used as much time on the clock as they could, and then dumped the ball over to Highsmith for a nice game.
5 defenders come on for the Lions. 3 defensive backs, 2 linebackers. 15th play of this drive. This is what's really been the success of the Oilers. Now the Lions trying to get guys off the field were a little late. Flags flew as Moon got the ball snapped. They still had about 13 guys out there. Moon must have thought he was back in the Canadian League for a minute.
12 men in the field. Defense.
Watch number 93, Jerry Ball. He is now at full speed after 3.5 quarters, trying to get off the field, and he's not going to make it. Warren Moon could see him, and he just snaps the ball and says, I'll take a free play. Thank you.
That'll move the ball close to the 3-yard line.
Wayne Fonz has a look on his face. He knows what's happening here. His young, aggressive, enthusiastic team is just being outmanned and out-physicaled by a superior team to this point in the second half.
First and goal, and that's after the Lions had played so well in the first half. Took the early lead, went on to lead 17-14 at halftime. Didn't fall behind until the third quarter. Pickett, touchdown, flag down. And that's going to be brought back. Twice now the Oilers have been in the end zone to have it wiped out by a penalty. The old yellow bandana.
Holding, number 32 offense, still first down.
Alonzo Highsmith, the blocking back, charged with holding.
Usually getting those goal line plays, we have the play gets strung out or it's a sweep out wide. You're matching up linebackers or running backs in a lot of cases against defensive backs and linebackers. And here's Highsmith right here. He's going to go out here, and you know what's going to happen here. He's going to get into a block. He's going to get desperate, and he's going to grab.
Well, that backs it up to the 13. Moon just gets away from the rush. Caston after him, and he has to throw away. James Cribbs, number 99, had the first pressure on Moon, and he showed that great athleticism, just a quick spin move to get away and keep himself alive in the play. And then when Caston started to close in on him, he got rid of the ball.
And this Detroit Lions defense is playing right now like it is extremely tired. Sure signs of that are when guys start lunging and grabbing and falling as a last resort. And even young guys like Cribbs here, number 99, aren't playing with the zip and the sting that they need to get after Warren Moon.
Locked in here now to Pinkett. Good second effort by Pinkett, who was collared out at the 8-yard line. And then finally brought down by Holmes. Looked like Benny Blades got a hand on him, but Pinkett just kept going.
They're going to option off Caston here. He flips the ball out to Pinkett, and this is just pure desire. He gets a couple good blocks. Holmes gets a hand around his neck, but he just keeps driving and moving, and Curtis Green, number 62, puts the finishing touches on him.
Moon is 29 of 37 passing, 337 yards. Alan Pinkett here in the second half has picked up 38 yards rushing. Third and goal. The option again. Boom. Touchdown.
It worked so good the last time. Warren Moon says, why not again? Gets a nice block by Bruce Davis, number 50 on Caston, or number 77 on Caston, number 50, and he just fakes the pitch and takes the ball in himself.
Shows a little strength there, too, with big Jimmy Williams standing him up at the goal line.
Well, you forget Warren Moon is 6'3", 210 pounds. That's no slightly built quarterback running that ball.
87 yards in 17 plays. 10 minutes, 29 seconds. It's got to be a very weary Lions defense. Zendeja with a point after 3:15 to play, and the Oilers with a commanding lead. A near sellout crowd at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas, watching their Oilers now take the game away from the Lions here in the second half. Behind that man is Warren Moon, who just took it in from 2 yards out and was on the field for 17 offensive plays. We've got 3:15 to go, and the Oilers in a commanding lead. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross watching this Houston team trying to break out of the 500 mark and taking 21 minutes and 13 seconds of the time gone by in this second half. Obviously, Randy, that Lions defense just worn down to a frazzle.
Well, I mentioned at the top of the show that time of possession maybe wasn't so important. Houston needs to make big plays. I was wrong. Jerry Glanville just wore these guys down by battering them, taking his plays 4 or 5 yards at a time and letting Warren Moon do what he does best, and that's flying Drew Hill for big plays.
Lions have had only 10 plays in the second half offensively. 5 minutes and 42 seconds of offensive time. On the kickoff at the 1 yard line, Oliver Stanley got to the 15. Eugene Seal making the stop there. Well, when our football activity is concluded, we have a little extra stuff going on down there, and Eugene Seal saying, "Come on, I'll show you my boxing ability here." Flag down. Seal still trying to get something started. Cooler heads prevail among his teammates, and they march him off to the sideline. There is a player down on the field. A Lion.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 53, Houston.
That is Seal getting the unnecessary roughness. Now, I don't know that this player who's down, we're still trying to identify him. We don't know that he was injured by Seal. Let's not put those two things together here. This could have been simply from a block on the kickoff return. And it looks like Eric Andelsek, who is the starting guard for the Lions, in some pain down there. So we'll be back at the Astrodome here with the Houston Oilers leading 35-24, 3:10 to play. Eric Andelsek, number 65, was the injured Lions player, and apparently took a knee in the hip as he was in on the kickoff play. Well, tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and our CBS Sunday movie tonight, Taken Away, starring Valerie Bertinelli. All ahead after football on CBS. First down, Lions from their own 30-yard line. Rodney Peete complete to Richard Johnson. First down, Detroit, to their 44-yard line. So the penalty against Seal was away from the injury to Andelsek.
There's the backup quarterback, Bob Galliano. Eric Hipple, number 17, got shielding Galliano's signals to Rodney Peete. Eric Hipple's looking at right now a kind of an iffy situation. Chuck Long's coming off next week, probably going to be reactivated. One of those quarterbacks has to go.
That would give them 4 altogether, and you'd have to think, since Galliano's familiar with the run and shoot, that Eric Hipple is in some jeopardy. Robert Clark for another Lion first down, 11 yards to the 46-yard line. Getting a kick out of this near side marker man. He's fallen asleep out there. He's just switched to the first down marker now, but he had second up on first. He's missed a couple here today. It's been a tough day for him. Clark has now made 5 catches today, a couple of big ones for the Lions. Inside handoff to Sanders, and a good recovery by Sanders because they nearly dropped the ball on the exchange. He only got about a yard.
You know, Barry Sanders has the kind of ability, it sounds strange, but you can say he made a great 1-yard run there. He should have been trapped in the backfield when he ran into Rodney Peete. He should have been tackled by Ray Childress, who had made a good play, but he made a 1-yard run look like a 20-yard run.
Second down and 9. Intended for Robert Clark, overthrown. You know, they question the arm of Rodney Peete. He threw that one about 50 yards in the air effortlessly. Off target by about a yard or two, but over, not under.
Well, I played with a gentleman by the name of Joe Montana, who people always question, well, Joe can't throw it 70 yards. Well, hey, if your receiver only has to run 55 to catch the bomb, it doesn't matter if you can throw it 70 yards or not. A lot of quarterbacks throw the ball 70 yards on a 55-yard bomb, and they're incomplete.
3rd and 9. 2:25 to go. Peete, sideliner intended for Clark, incomplete. And that'll be 4th down.
Don't be
Lions
surprised
that will go.
Yeah, don't be surprised if we see the Lions go for it here. They've got little or nothing to lose.
Green Bay has moved ahead of Chicago 14-13 with 30 seconds left in the game. Controversial touchdown pass by Don Mikowski, we're told. And after a long review by the replay guys, they upheld it. So the Packers in a squeaker with the Bears. Still a few seconds left to play. Here in Houston, the Lions on 4th down going for it here. Peete steps up, trying to find an open man, and he does. 1st down, Detroit. Robert Clark with 4 defenders all taking a whack at him, but the little guy holds on. For a 1st down at the 26-yard line. And again, you have to admire these Lions simply do not quit. Clark is still on the ground. He was really pasted. 4 Oilers all converging on him, but he held on to the ball. 5'11", 175-pounder. Took a lot of weight.
We're going to see Rodney Peete here. The protection breaks down a little bit. He's got to move to his right. He steps up to where he's got an open area. He spots Clark running across the middle. Now, the part we want to watch here is, look, he gets hit 1, 2, gets stuck in the stomach. He gets held up there and whack in there. Ooh, boy, that had to hurt. Number 25 comes in there.
Bubba McDowell.
Bubba McDowell lays the wood to him with that shoulder. Let's look at it one more time.
That's head-to-head.
And right here, he's just fighting to stay up, and he's just going down, and he gets hit right in the face.
I think it might have been that earlier shot, the 2 helmets colliding, that really shook him up. Grimsley, the linebacker, number 59, made that contact, but we're happy to see Clark up on his feet. And the Rams have got ahead of the Vikings in the 4th quarter. That's some exciting finishes. 1st down, Lions. And we've reached the 2-minute warning before they got the play off. So we'll be back at the Astrodome with the Houston Oilers leading 35-24, 2 minutes to go. Two minutes to go, you see Jerry Glanville, Tim Ryan, and Randy Cross here at the Astrodome. Jerry Glanville had a warm greeting for Wayne Fonts pre-game, and he had said to us, Glanville did, that, you know, Lions have to believe in that offense. You have a scheme, you stick with it. I've done it here, and we're on the road, and I think that's what Fonts and his people should do over there in Detroit. Stay with it. They've got some young stars and a system that'll work, that run and shoot.
2 minutes is plenty of time. Detroit could strike fast and still be in it.
Peete, sideliner, complete to Stanley. 1st down inside the 15. Oilers taking their time. There's a flag back, so the clock will be stopped with 1:45. Flag back in the backfield of the Lions. Now, meanwhile, we've been talking about those close games. Look at this. They're tied now. Minnesota and the
We
Rams.
have personal foul. Number 91, defense. Number 67, offense. After the play was over, offsetting penalties. Offsetting penalties, the play was over. 1st down.
Meads and Dallafor in the old dreaded offsetting penalties for personal fouls. Needs for Houston, Dallafor for the Lions. So it is first down. It came after the play was over. So the first down remains inside the 15. 7 Rich Carlos field goals for Minnesota in that game. They're tied at 21 with the Rams. Sanders, touchdown. Sean Jones exploded into the backfield, and if he was obviously offside, whether he was drawn or not, we'll find out. But Jones just blew in there, and it's against Houston, so the touchdown will stand. Hold on to your hat. 1:41 to go. Barry Sanders showed that tremendous acceleration there, Randy. I mean, he just popped through there.
That's right. Barry Sanders has got the kind of speed and the kind of leg strength that enables him to bolt through a line quicker than probably anybody in the league right now.
Murray with a point after. 35-31. 1:41 still to play. Can this weary Lions defense get the ball back for Rodney Peete one more time?
And Sean Jones is way up here. We're going to see him bolt into the backfield. The key is he does not make contact. If he'd have made contact, they'd have blown the whistle dead, blown the play dead. Look at him bolt through that line. He goes right before the snap. He's offsides. It's simultaneous. Hand it off to Barry Sanders. Forget it right here. With this acceleration, this speed, Houston defense never has a chance to catch him.
So suddenly it's back to just 4 points. Barry Sanders touchdown run. 1:41 to go. 35-31 lead.
You got to think right here, Detroit is going to go for an onside kick. You see the Detroit kickoff team is huddled in the middle of the field. The Houston kickoff receiving team has been huddled over by the sideline, and Jerry Glanville. And here's Eddie Murray, and he's telling them, look, guys, I'm going to make it so it bounces twice, maybe 3 times, but when it hits that 3rd time, it's going to pop right up in the air. You got to be down there 12, 15 yards down the field to catch this ball.
Sanders from 14 yards out, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. And Green Bay, we're told, has prevailed over the Chicago Bears 14-13. So the Packers move to 5-4. The Bears fall to 5-4. And Minnesota and the Rams still going at it tied.
Well, you look at this formation. They're going to get a running start.
Onside kick try is loose. Houston has it. Inside the 35, Robert Lyles. Whoa, there's some left jabs and right crosses. Well, there's that old thing, Randy, where you know emotions are high here in this tight situation. But somehow one would think that with all that hardware you guys wear, you wouldn't be throwing punches. There's Wayne Fonts right out in the middle of it trying to get his guys off the field.
That's right. And Wayne doesn't go for that. He doesn't think you try to out-bad guy the bad guys. Houston's got the reputation for doing things like this. They'll take a swing at you. They'll take a shot. And Wayne said, we're not going to try to outdo that with them. But you're right. With a helmet and shoulder pads on, why try to hit them? Look at the running start Houston gets here. All they can ask for is for the ball to come free. And the ball comes free. They got such a running start, they ran right by where the ball was. And Lyles is right there to fall on it, and then the fun starts. Lyles is the safest guy on the field right here.
Unnecessary roughness, number 26, Detroit. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 93, Houston. Offsetting, dead ball foul, first down.
Now, Carl Painter gets the penalty for the Lions, and Lyles, I believe, for the Oilers. There's Bubba McDowell. He's into. There's his left to the iron.
Well, Lyles is going to have to get up off the ground to get any kind of part of this fight in there. He was just laying on the ball back there.
Yeah, it looked like with Bubba McDowell, but there's Lyles kind of coming into that deal. Well, doesn't matter anyway. It's the old offset. Yeah, the old roughing offset.
That's right.
The key here is that the Oilers got the football on the onside kick attempt by the Lions. The Oilers did the job of their men up front. And they have a first down at the 29 of Detroit. 1:37 on the clock. Lions still with 2 timeouts to try and make something good happen. You know, the Oilers, protecting their 4-point lead, will just try to keep that ball moving forward in their possession.
Detroit's got to take chances here.
Highsmith for about 3. 1:32 to go. Jerry Ball and Victor Jones made the stop, and the Lions take a timeout. 1:32. Still up on the clock. Victor Jones can barely stand up, and there's Barry Sanders. He's got 2 touchdowns today offensively for the Lions, but they're trying to fend off yet another defeat here. Must get the ball back and make something big happen. Early scoring action from the West Coast game. San Diego on top of Philadelphia. Giants with an early lead. And Denver over Pittsburgh. Raiders leading Cincinnati. That of interest to Houston fans. And we'll bring you up to date on all the interesting activity that's taken place earlier and update you on the later games. The NFL Today post-game show following conclusion of our game here in Houston.
Yeah, we saw Barry Sanders earlier, and Glanville was very, very worried, Jerry Glanville was, about Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders had 19 carries so far today for 91 yards, so he's not going to hurt his rushing average very much. He was averaging right around 5 yards a carry on the season.
2nd and 8 for the Oilers. Highsmith and Pinkett, the running backs. Alan Pinkett gets about 3, and the Lions take their final timeout. So the Oilers will need 5 yards for a first down here.
Well, in this situation, Detroit is just about out of bullets, because on the next snap, the clock will move well within 1 minute to play, and then Houston just brings out their field goal unit, takes their time, probably takes a penalty, waits till there's about 20, 25 seconds left on the clock, and then kicks the field goal.
An Oilers victory in that crowded AFC Central would give them a 5-4 mark starting the second half of the season. Cleveland was beating up on Tampa Bay. They would move to 6-3. And we're told that Minnesota has just defeated the Rams, mainly on the foot of Rich Carlos. And then they got a safety in the overtime. So it sounds like they didn't score an offensive touchdown today and won the game. That's all that matters. They go to 6-3.
That's called winning ugly.
Yeah. They'll be in first place alone in the NFC Central Division. Minnesota at 6-3, and with the Green Bay victory over Chicago today, they're now tied with the Bears at 5-4. And maybe it's a little premature to think about wild card to concede anything to the Vikings yet, but that's going to be an interesting race. Tampa Bay falling to 3-6. AFC Central crowded as well. Houston trying to get to 5-4. They hold on here. 1:27 to go, 3rd and 5. That is complete. Loose ball, recovered by the Lions. Terry Taylor brings it out to midfield for Detroit.
Unbelievable. They throw a pass in that situation, open themselves up to this kind of mistake. If Terry Taylor would have broken outside there, I think he may have scored.
Curtis Duncan was the receiver, and Bruce Alexander makes the hit.
Alexander punches it out, and Terry Taylor, number 21, picks it up here. And watch this. Stay to the outside. Don't cut back. He's only a quarterback trying to tackle you, number 1, Warren Moon. This is incredible. Detroit can now possibly win this game. They are out of timeouts, though, and we're talking 1 minute and 16 seconds to play.
And they need a touchdown. They're down by 4. Midfield. Much of the crowd has left the Astrodome thinking the win was safely at hand. Those that are left are in it. Peete throws it out of bounds. over the head of Clark, stopping the clock with 1:09.
You know, Tim, I don't even think you could call that pass play on third down there a bad judgment as much as you might want to label it overconfidence. They're so confident in what they could do. They're so confident in their offense. I think Jerry Glanville and the Oilers forgot about some of the things that could go wrong when you throw a pass.
Well, in effect, Duncan had caught the ball. He's now a running back at that point. Obviously a little more vulnerable to a fumble there, but it wasn't a case of the ball being intercepted. He had caught it, and then it was fumbled. 2nd and 10. A flag thrown. Is this a crowd noise deal here or not?
False start prior to the snap.
No.
Number 64 offense, still 2nd down.
Eric Sanders, who came in earlier to replace Harvey Salem at right tackle, called with a false start. Salem bothered by a sore right shoulder. Sanders has played most of his fourth quarter on offense.
He hasn't played much, but he couldn't be in at a more key time. He's got Ray Childress, 79. He's got to keep him off Peete.
And he does there. McDonald out of bounds. Short of the first down to the 42 of Houston. 1:03 remaining. Lyles forced him out. Look at this one going down to the wire. Buffalo and the Atlanta Falcons. A minute remaining. Buffalo by a point. 3rd down and 2.
There's June Jones in the glasses and the mustache there sitting in the booth. He's got the headset off. It's up to the guys on the field. It's up to Rodney Peete.
Sanders has the first down. A flag is down. Sanders had the mileage. The flag came down in
Delay
the
of game offense.
time had run out on Rodney Peete. So they go back 5 again. They're doing it the hard way here. 1:01 on the clock.
You know, I think this situation has got Detroit. They've caught him almost by surprise. They seem a little bit flustered, like, I mean, what's going on here? I mean, we can actually win this? And they're not concentrating. If you had to point to one part of the Detroit Lion game they might want to work on next week in practice, it'd be the end of the first half and the end of the game in these tight situations. They haven't looked like they've had it together offensively late in the half and late in the game when they have the ball.
Jerry Seaman putting some time back on the clock.
Please reset the stadium clock to 1:03.
2 seconds back on the clock. Making it 1:03.
Thank you.
The ball is at the 47-yard line of the Houston Oilers. The Lions have a 3rd down. They need 7 for a first.
With this much time left, even if they don't have any timeouts, I think Rodney Peete has the luxury of running his full complement of pass patterns and going deep and getting over the middle and doing some crossing patterns.
Oilers took a timeout here in the midst of this stoppage. And part of that, no doubt, Glanville wanting to make sure he's got the defensive unit on the field exactly the way he wants it. He's got 7 defensive backs in there right now. And there's the key guy, Lyles, who's played every defensive down and getting the word from Glanville as to what he wants him to play here.
The key area to concentrate on this next play, I believe, is right where Lyles is going to be. And it's that area between the defensive backs and the linebacker Lyles. Both Houston and Detroit today have taken advantage of that area, crossing receivers in there and getting big completions for 20, 25 yards.
1:03 remains in the fourth quarter. Houston by 4. Detroit ball. 3rd down and 7 at the 47-yard line. The Oilers, who had the game in hand, popped up a fumble on a pass to Curtis Duncan, who dropped it, giving Detroit a light. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross watching this thrilling finish. Rodney Peete. Intercepted. In and out of the hands of Clark. And into the hands of a Houston defender on the rebound. Kenny Johnson and I believe number 22 came up with the ball. And Patrick Allen broke up the play.
Rodney Peete makes a good decision. He sees Robert Clark out here. He thinks he's open. He fires the ball. What he can't do anything about is the ball being tipped, getting up in the air. Watch this. He catches the ball. He's flipped. It doesn't matter that his 2 feet were not in bounds. When the offensive player contacted him and flipped him into the air, Eaton was in bounds as soon as the offensive player caught him, I think.
And it was Tracy Eaton who makes the catch on the rebound. Clark flips him out of bounds. So it was Tracy Eaton who made the interception, and that will probably stand.
That's a curious call, Tim.
Curious play.
If he hadn't have been hit by the wide receiver, hadn't been hit by Clark and flipped, he would have clearly landed in bounds.
Well, they're keeping the possession in the hands of Detroit. The replay man is Dave Kamansky today. And the crowd here unhappy with this decision. But so far it is still 4th down Detroit unless they change it. What a play. It began with a good defensive play by Patrick Allen, the quarterback, number 29, on the coverage of Robert Clark.
The ball bounces off of Clark here and is going to go straight up in the air. At that point, number 21, Tracy Eaton sees it, jumps up and grabs it. If Clark does not hit him, would he have landed in bounds? His feet are clearly not in bounds with the flip, but if Clark had not have hit him, he would not have flipped. He would have landed in bounds.
Well, there's still a huddle down there as the replay official, Dave Kamansky, is communicating with Jerry Seaman. And that brings the huddle.
And the dreaded replay delay in your lower left-hand side of your screen here.
Yeah, this is one of those delays that you know they'll use up all the required time here. 56 seconds still to play in the game, in one that is to be decided in these final seconds. Oilers leading by 4 points. And if you've just joined us, the Oilers had possession deep in Detroit territory, threw a pass on 3rd and 5 to Curtis Duncan. And he coughed up the ball. The Oilers nearly giving Detroit the opportunity to steal it here in the final seconds. Now, the outcome of this will determine whether or not they've still got a chance.
Here it is one more time. Tracy Eaton, 21.
After further review of instant replay, it is determined the ball was deflected by the offensive team. The defensive player intercepted in the air, and his knee did hit in bounds. Consequently, Houston's ball intercepted.
Well, those who are still here in the Astrodome, many of them having left because they thought this game was over several minutes ago, several minutes of playing time, are delirious now that it went in Houston's favor. The interception stands, and well, they said his knee was down in bounds. It would seem to me your explanation, Randy, which I agree with, is that he was forced out of bounds by the blocked tackle of Robert Clark. Therefore, he had no chance to land at 2 feet in bounds. But it is Houston ball, and I think correctly so.
Okay, one more time to take a look at it here. He catches it. He's got the foot in, already on possession. That leg gets back in. That's the second one. Yeah, Coach Madden's book says one knee equals 2 feet, doesn't it?
Down in bounds there, no question on the hit from Clark, and then out of bounds. So it is Houston ball with 55 seconds left, and they just cover this one.
Or maybe they'll go into the run and shoot, Tim.
Well, they'll certainly let this thing count down as much as they can without having to do anything with the football. Jerry Glanville will be pleased to escape here in the House of Pain. 7-1 at home a year ago. And it looks like this victory now finally solid for the Oilers, and they'll move to 5-4. The Bengals in a late game are trailing. Cleveland's victory moved them to 6-3, and the Raiders are leading 14-0 over Cincinnati in the first quarter of their game. On second down, they're down to 10 seconds here without having to touch the ball, and grateful for that. So that'll be it. The Houston Oilers get through a squeaker here against this gritty, determined Detroit Lions team, which suffers yet another defeat and falls to 1-8. But boy, they do not go easily into that good night. Final words between Wayne Fonts and Jerry Glanville, and we'll be back here at the Astrodome in a moment. The Oilers win it by 4.